3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. Welcome aboard the post-game show alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Appreciate you being with us. Lots to get to on today's program. We're jamming a whole bunch in. Somebody won't be here tomorrow, so wants to do two shows at
who's
once.
the slacker that's going to take tomorrow off during football season? I would never do that.
You know what? I can't think of a time when I have, but my family is involved in an event that we did not plan, but we are happy to be a part of, and so I will be missing tomorrow's show.
Yeah, at least I'm doing the bye week Friday.
Listen. If I had I been in charge of said event, and that's
here's my question: why weren't you?
Well, because I'm not.
Why didn't you step in and go, don't you know who I am?
Yeah, that'll fly.
I mean, at least he's being with his family now. I mean,
it's again, the bulk of my family is involved in this, and it is what it is, and I'm happy to be. I'm happy about it.
It's got to take you back to your younger days.
Yeah, so it'll be good.
Kind of, sort of.
Anyway, we got a lot to get to today. We'll also talk some. By the way, I don't know how Bill and Tyler stay in here with the air conditioner off, because
it was off, isn't it?
Blazing hot.
It is. I mean, if you can, y'all really probably can't tell, but look at me. I'm sweating.
You kind of are already.
Well, I got off the treadmill about 45 minutes ago, but I did take a shower. I did take a shower, and I'm still sweating. And then I get in here. And
Have you got this checked?
It was on 78 degrees. Well, it was on 78 degrees, bro.
Yeah, but you're sweating, dude.
Because it's 78 degrees.
I've got a long sleeve shirt on. You're in shorts and a t-shirt. Have you had a doctor check you for this this sweaty thing you have going?
What do you think he's going to tell me?
You sweat a lot.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, what's he going to tell me?
Well, Terry's used to it because he's from Baltimore. I lived in New York for 2 years, so hey, we're the long sleeve gang today.
I mean, my man Jalen's over there with 7 layers on.
Well, it's still hot.
I came from a cold building from my other job, so that's why I got this one.
No, I'll be fine, but it is very hot in here right now. Anyway, Coach Bill McDonald will be with us. Ryder Cup starts tomorrow up at one of the most difficult courses on planet Earth, Bethpage Black, just outside of the city.
Yeah, we got to talk some about this later. I know we're football and everything, but we got some nice little stuff brewing here with the golfers on both sides.
Well, that's what the Ryder Cup is, man. I mean, every 2 years, this is what the Ryder Cup is all about. It's the only real time when you have this kind of smack talk team play in golf.
It's so cool.
And and I'm just going to be really mean right now. Don't any of you Live golf fans tell me they have team play in Live. Ugh.
It's not the same.
Shotgun start.
Not the same.
Playing at the Tulsa Muni in front of 5,000 people.
Yeah, walking around their swim trunks.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Live golf.
Anyway.
Live golf.
Yeah, this thing's fun. So it'll be good to talk to old Coach Bill.
Although there's a couple of Live dudes that are playing in this. I mean, Bryson made the team. I think he's the only American Live player. Terrell Hatton is on the English team. Is there another? And John Rahm is playing, obviously.
Rahm.
So there's one. Am I missing anybody? Sergio didn't make the team this year.
No.
There might be somebody else. Anyway.
But still, it's
I'm glad Bryson made the team. I got no problem with that per se. I'm glad another Live golfer who shall remain nameless, Patrick Reed, didn't make the team.
I like the Rory Bryson back and forth. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I love the Ryder Cup, man. I love the Ryder Cup.
Even though if I'm Rory, I know Rory kind of works out now, but Bryson's got bigger arms than most of those guys' bodies.
Yeah. Bryson smash.
But it's all natural. Swear.
As far as you know. But Coach Billy Mack will be with us in a little bit. Our buddy Hale McGranahan on the beat for the Big Spur joins us in the 4 o'clock hour to give us the latest on what's going on around Carolina football. As once again, the theme of the week, theme of the last few weeks, heck, theme of the season it now seems to be, is you better fix yourself. And to this point, there's a lot of folks who feel that hasn't been done, at least to the level necessary for South Carolina to achieve some of those preseason goals that they set for themselves. And I have put Saturday, if not in the outright must-win category, then as absolutely close. I mean, if I say toe the line, am I actually dipping a small bit of my toe over the line when it comes to this weekend's game? Because I don't see South Carolina winning. What? How many? 9 in a row, 7 in a row, whatever. 7 in a row. Sorry, to get to 9-3 again. But look, you need to beat Kentucky. You need to win at home. You need to win at night. But I think you need to win for your own psyche as much as anything else, because you go into an off week before a road trip to one of the most hostile environments in sports. Forget about just college football. That's a bad place to be, man.
I tell you,
I don't know where LSU will be by then, but I kind of think LSU is going to Oxford and winning this weekend.
I do too. And despite I think obviously the biggest storyline is Lane and his daughter, and the LSU linebacker. But it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm sorry, but then, to your point, look, I typically don't say September games in football are must-win games because you have so much season left, but it doesn't get much closer to a must-win game in September than you have on Saturday. An opponent most people look at as among the worst teams in the SEC. Not an opponent you're going to beat by 30 or 40, but a team that is looked at as one of the bottom feeders in your league, right? They're playing in your dojo, and you really need to get a W. Do you want to start 0-3 in league? No. You need to get a win here. And for what you said, for your psyche going to a bye week, all these things, it comes as close to a must-win game in September as you're going to have in football. It really is. Yeah. You just got to win this game. And hopefully it pushes you in a good direction going into your bye, Jay. And like you said, then scout yourself during your bye and try to get yourself together and take a good positive W, hopefully, and swing through it.
But Hale will join us with more from his perspective coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. And we have sound from Coach Shula and Coach White. Plus, Tyler's gotten us a lot from Mark Stoops as he previews the Gamecocks before his Cats come down here on Saturday. Elijah will join us later because I will be out tomorrow. We'll be doing the Wild Card Showdown today. Mm-hmm. So
that'll be good.
We've got that one for you. And got a fun little start bench drop that we'll do here in just a minute. So nice. That should be good.
We'll start bench drop.
I don't typically jump in with like celebrity birthday news, but I saw that this guy was having a birthday today, and then I thought, I think he's about X. Today's Mark Hamill's birthday.
Is it?
Luke Skywalker.
70 what?
Did you? So you're
legend.
70 something?
70 something.
See, I was like,
I thought he was a little older when he popped in Star Wars.
Well, I figured they started making Star Wars in 1974, 75. And so I figured that he was I thought he was like 19 or something.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, he wasn't the older one. It was
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford was the older one, yeah.
Well, no, but you hit it. Mark Hamill today is 74 years old. Wow. So that means he was like 23 or so when they were starting Star Wars?
Yeah.
Which is really, when you think about it, that they started filming Star Wars 50 years ago.
Man.
Even before that.
Wow.
But yeah, Mark Hamill is 74. You younger kids will know him as the voice of the Joker on the old Batman.
Yeah. He was 22.
22 when they started.
22.
So Harrison Ford's what, late 70s?
I think he's 80.
Yeah, Harrison's
Is he 80?
old.
Has he made the 80s? I know he was the older guy on the crew.
There was it's making the rounds. There's a great Harrison Ford bit. Not a bit, but he's being interviewed, I think, for... Have you seen this, Jalen? For like either Hollywood Reporter, Variety, some magazine, but it's not a podcast, but it's an interview, and they're giving him famous lines from all of his movies, and then it's almost like a game show.
Oh,
and
I have not seen this.
It's great. It's great.
I will watch
so, that. And he gets most of them. And he's like, was that in? Again, I'd say he's getting 9 out of 10. But it was really fun. Some of you maybe have already seen that.
That is funny.
But that was pretty. But Mark Hamill is 74 today. I wasn't ready for that.
It hits me with Harrison Ford because he was an American Graffiti.
Yeah. That's how Lucas knew him. That's how Lucas.
Yeah.
That's how Lucas.
So that's how old he is. Now Hamill, I thought I was just going 70s because it's been that thing was so long ago, and I figured he had to be around at least 20-ish. That's one reason I guess 70.
Yeah.
And I didn't know 74. I didn't think 74. It was mid 70s.
And
man, we're getting
for what it's worth. Will Smith's birthday today too. He's
70 what? 70 what?
He's 57. I figured. I knew he was. I knew he was around.
What surprises you most, though? I mean, just think about it for a minute. When you said you weren't surprised, Will Smith being 57 surprised me more than Mark Hamill being 74.
In a way,
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is almost 60.
Yeah, that's just it though. I've grown up with Will Smith. I mean, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were huge as I was leaving high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they popped then. And then, by the time he and Jeff had split up a little bit, then the mid-'90s with, getting jiggy with it and all that, and he just became a monumental star. And then, of course, the TV show and then the movies. I mean, and now he's become who he is, despite that weird thing with Chris Rock.
Man, that's still one of the weirdest things.
Yeah, that was surreal.
I remember watching it on TV going, did I just see that?
Well, I was like that. I was like, what did I just see?
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't watch award shows because, honestly, just tell me who won and I'll see it tomorrow kind of a thing. But when I did the next morning, like on Today or whatever, after that happened, I was like, I thought it was a joke.
See, I did too.
I thought it was a bit.
I thought they were just like, bitten.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit.
Because they do those bits on those shows. I thought it was too, and I went, oh, bleep. That wasn't a bit.
It's not a bit. Not a bit. Also got a poll question running still. We did open this one up for you yesterday, but had it running through the end of today's program. Now that we've seen the Gamecocks' SEC football opponents over the next 4 seasons and knowing they'll play Clemson, do you still want home and homes with Miami, North Carolina, and NC State? And just to be abundantly clear, those are indeed scheduled for 26 through 31. Miami will come here next year. North Carolina comes here. Well, they're scheduled to come here in 28, and State is scheduled to come in 30, and then Carolina makes the return trips. Right now, 57% of you say, yes, that's more good football. 43%, nope, that's too hard. And I wanted to hit one that I just replied back to a guy named Ryan. Because yesterday, Terry, as you recall, I said, hey, look, if you don't think that no is the answer because it's too hard, then tell me, what other reason you might have for no. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate this. Ryan says, I voted no for 2 reasons. One, the wear and tear these guys get playing games where your reserves aren't getting as many opportunities to see the field. And 2, I don't trust the playoff committee to objectively scale strength of schedule. And I said the first point is fair. And basically, look, that just means you're going to have more 2s playing more meaningful minutes, which either means a greater level of your own internal development or a greater level of recruiting. Mm-hmm. But if this is what we're going to be doing, and again, hopefully everyone begins to get on board with this type of scheduling. I don't know that we're all the way there yet, and I don't know that the Missouris and Kentuckys of the world have been convinced, or the Penn States of the world, who, again, scheduled 3 high school teams before they play Oregon this weekend.
But when you look at Mark Stoops' non-conference, and you go, wow, it's a lot tougher than yours at Penn State.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, geez.
And then the second point, I said, it's been addressed. Now, has it been implemented, Ryan? No, because we haven't had a college football playoff selection process for the coming season. But that's really, in most people's opinions, the final piece of the puzzle to be placed for the Southeastern Conference to expand to 9 conference games, is that they needed the assurance that, all right, if we're going to bump this thing up and we're going to keep our mandated Power 4 non-con, you're going to penalize us for it? And the committee has said, we will absolutely take SOS into consideration. We will give you, so it's kind of like we've said, it's as close as they can get for now to the basketball net ranking.
And which is where you need to be.
And that's,
right.
So you've got to reward teams for playing good games, and you don't necessarily penalize, but that Penn State non-con.
That needs to be penalized. I'm sorry.
Penn State better run the table.
Right. I mean, if you're Penn State.
And I say that, but you maybe get to 1.
I mean, this weekend you're playing Oregon, right?
Right.
At Penn State.
In your building.
And if you lose that game, and your weak non-conference, so far the resume goes underwhelming. Yeah, that will be your mulligan because, to me, I would look at a 2-loss team with a much tougher schedule ahead of Penn State of 1 loss with a weak schedule.
We'll give you a start pinch drop on the other side. Start talking more Carolina football ahead of the Saturday night Kentucky matchup. It's the postgame show. Griffin Pools and Spas ready to make so much of what you do in the backyard a reality or even a lot more fun all year long. And now they're your headquarters for family fun and outside enjoyment for things beyond the pool. All right. Although, if you get a pool and you want to invite us over, we're happy to do it. They offer Latham fiberglass pools, Imperial vinyl pools, above ground pools, the fantastic Bullfrog Spas, Tropic Seas Spas, Generation Spas, Swim Spas, and, of course, Big Green Egg Grills, all the accessories, all things Yeti, from the coolers to the cups and so much more. Turtle Box, Gen 3, Ranger, Grande Bluetooth speakers to take outside. Basically, at Griffin Pools and Spas, they sell fun. Discover the Griffin difference. They're steps away from the Lake Murray Dam in Lexington. Great showroom, great people to work with. 957-2121. And learn more every day at griffinpoolsandspas.com. Minutes after 3 o'clock here on this Thursday afternoon. Welcome back into the postgame show. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. Coach Bill McDonald coming up in a few. Hale McGranahan later on. Elijah will stop by for the Wild Card Showdown. So we got a lot to do. Sound from Gamecock coaches, from Mark Stoops as well. Braves finally lost.
Yeah.
10 in a row, man. 10 in a row. They're not going to the playoffs.
You sure?
Yeah. They got eliminated last weekend. There's a big E next to
I'm
it.
telling you, man, if the season could be another couple months longer.
No, the season's long
Nah.
enough.
No, a couple months longer, they might have made the playoffs.
Season's long enough.
The way they were playing and the way the Mets are playing.
Yes.
You were telling me that there was a grade against the Braves of an F.
Yeah, but ESPN gave him an F.
And I was like, if everybody was healthy and they stunk the place up, I could do that. But when you spend nearly 2 months with your entire starting rotation injured,
ESPN was given no leeway.
Wow.
yeah, that's
They were given no leeway on that.
That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm usually
they were
not overly
harsh
critical, but that
on it.
doesn't. And Ronald Acuna was hurt for a bit. Austin Riley missed 2 months. They know full well that Ozzie Albies has not been himself.
Basically-
Sean Murphy was hurt for a bit. And maybe you don't want to use injuries as too much of a quote excuse. But at some point, you have to, especially in a marathon season like a Major League Baseball season, you have to factor that in. I mean, look, C-, D+, but I mean, again,
But
Their grade was worse than my Orioles, who were massively
well,
underachievers.
do you think the Braves deserve an F?
I think if you're good, I think if you want to give them a D because they couldn't make the playoffs, they missed the playoffs totally. Okay, fine. But I do think, in all seriousness, the injuries obviously affected this team. You lost a guy who, when healthy, is one of the biggest offensive weapons in the game of baseball, whether he's hitting for power, he's stealing bags, he's getting on base. You
Has
lose
a cannon for an arm and can cover
You lose a guy
ground.
like that hurts. You lose all those pitchers. Last time I checked, it's kind of important starting pitching.
Show me a starting or show me a baseball team that for a third of the season has none of its slated 5 starting pitchers available.
I think
at once.
I think when you look at all the injuries that team went through, it got to the point where you and I were sitting here in August. They shut them all down and come back next year because this thing's insane.
And instead, they've now won 15 of their last 20.
Exactly. So I think it's a little harsh grade. I think you just can't blindly say this is a team that was picked to possibly go to the World Series and they missed the playoffs totally. We're going to give them an F. I think nothing worse than just a straight D if you want to grade harsh.
Yeah.
But the injuries are a huge factor in what happened
Did they
to this
not?
team.
I didn't read it because once you told me, I didn't even go back. I was like, well, if they're going to give him an F.
They did say about injuries, but it basically was, look, you have navigated injuries before and made the playoffs, or you should still be at least a playoff team with all your talent. Now, I pushed back saying, all your talent was on the IL. I think the injuries are such a factor that I don't think you can say that they were an F. I think that's a little bit much.
Again, D+, and look, we're sitting here haggling over really bad grades,
F's
right?
and D's and D pluses.
But I can't, and perhaps I'm too subjective as a fan, but I look at everything that mounted, and I say these are things that are out of their control. Again, if you go into the season, because I will freely admit, going into the season, the Braves had the second best odds to win the World Series behind the Dodgers.
Right. They were
they should have been, man. They're loaded. You got the Cy Young winner. You got a former MVP. You got dudes that can hit for power. You got some speed. And who knew that Drake Baldwin was going to pop? So and again, if Strider and Sale and all these guys are healthy all year and they all got ERAs around 6, and everybody on the team is hitting 230 or less, and Snit is shown every other night sleeping.
Well, wouldn't blame them the way this thing's gone. But the one thing I will say, the guys who are healthy offensively, and I know 2 years ago was crazy how good they were offensively, but the guys that were healthy this year were underwhelming offensively.
That's fair.
When Austin Riley was healthy, Austin Riley's paid to have a slugging percentage over 500. He just is. You set a bar, Austin, and got paid on that bar. And since that big year, what was it, 2023 now?
Yeah.
You haven't been that hitter. Now, have you been hurt a bit? Yes. But when healthy, you haven't been the same dude. Obviously, you knew Olsen wasn't going to be that guy from 2 years ago. He never had a year like that.
Well, that year, 2 years ago, he was, again.
That was
everybody
insane.
around him was hitting, and opposing pitchers were forced to throw Matt Olson, wait for it, pitches in the strike zone. And guess what most major league hitters can do? They hit pitches in the strike zone.
And that's
what he does is he swings at everything.
Yeah, his strike zone judgment is crap.
He doesn't have one.
Especially when he starts to struggle, it gets worse.
He swings at everything.
I mean, you could roll that thing up there, and it's like cricket to him. Yeah. And that's just the thing. It's like, I think though, and they didn't say this in the read up, but I think 2 years ago, everybody's gauging the Braves off of that offensive season of 2 years ago. So many guys had career years, and those seasons were outliers. They were good hitters, but they were great hitters 2 years ago.
Everything lined up beautifully
it was
the way,
like a
the way they
perfect
did it. So, look, I know the season's done. One other note, though, and both David O'Brien and Mark Bowman, who are the two best beat writers that cover the Braves, have been making mention of this. Atlanta goes into the final weekend of the series of the season, with a series against the Pirates in Atlanta. So, for all practical purposes, Brian Snitker has 3 days left on his contract. That's it. His contract expires when the Braves are done, and the Braves are going to be done on Sunday.
Yep.
He has hinted at retirement, but he has not retired. The Braves have obviously, as an organization, said absolutely nothing, but they haven't even said, "Oh, we'd love to sit down with Snit." They haven't. They've said nothing.
You know what silence tells you?
Well,
Usually from all parties.
Yeah, and here's the point that they were making, especially Bowman. You'd hate for Snit to just, whatever happens this weekend against Pittsburgh, it's immaterial. But if he is done, he needs a send-off.
Oh, absolutely. I was sitting there thinking that in my head. You don't want to see him just, meekly go away into the darkness, not from what he has done here. I mean, he's been very successful, Snit. They've won a World Series. They've been in the playoffs. I've lost track of how many times Snit's been in the playoffs now.
All but this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been held. Look,
am I right about that? All but this year.
I think you're correct. Look, Bobby Cox is Bobby Cox, and to try to compare anybody to Bobby Cox is ridiculous. But Brian Snitker's done a hell of a job, and he deserves to be honored for the job he has done. And just for him to 2 days after the regular season say, I'm done. Yeah. Especially, I feel like they know.
See you down at Fort Walton Beach.
Exactly. I feel like they know, right?
I guess.
Doesn't it feel like it? They know, and they just don't want to say anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm right. I'm with you. You got to honor Snit. Give him like give him like what were those old school sausage logs?
Sure, that'd be great. Or how about this? We'll take him out for a nice steak dinner, which takes me to today's start bench drop.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I want you to start bench drop these cuts of steak.
Go for it.
Alphabetical order as always. Filet mignon. New York strip. Ribeye.
Oh.
Filet mignon, New York strip, ribeye.
Nice. I like that.
Start bench drop. And then invite me to Halls.
Already know mine.
Okay, good.
Already know mine. You and I had this conversation. You're breaking stuff over there, man.
I just was trying to put my computer, and it just
highly sensitive.
How did you come up with
this?
Why steak?
I got a weird brain, my man.
Well, remember, you and I were
doing this a long time.
You and I were having a steak conversation a couple weeks ago about this very thing.
Yeah. So there you go. Filet, New York strip, ribeye, start, bench, drop them. I'll throw it out on Twitter for you here in just a second. We'll come back on the other side. Coach Bill McDonald will be with us. The Ryder Cup begins tomorrow. USA, USA. What are the chances on one of the hardest courses on the planet? Coach Billy Mack will tell us when the post-game show returns. All right, welcome back in. Post-game show rolling on here on a Thursday. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen Tart at Master Control. Coach Bill McDonald on the line. Hale McGranahan coming up in a bit. Elijah will join us, too, as we got a lot to cram in, plus a lot of Carolina football. But whenever there is something big in the world of golf, you know Bill McDonald will be making an appearance on our program, and he is here once again as I don't know, Coach, if this is the most anticipated Ryder Cup. But with the way things have been going just in the world of golf, and now we're kind of blending different things, and it's at Bethpage Black. There is a real, I don't know, there feels like there's a little more intensity this time around, but maybe it's just because it's here again and I get all jacked up for it. How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Hope y'all are. Yeah, it has I feel the same way. It has a little different feel and edge this go round to me, and I think a lot of factors. You know, the New York crowd, the Bethpage Black, and it's going to be really cool to see how they've prepared the course. Hopefully for the Americans to dominate, but yeah, everything like just patriotic as hell this week, man. Let's go.
Coach, help me out here. These dirty Euros have won 10 of the last 14 of this thing. You know, they're more, we don't play for money. We're a team, and we're blood brothers. They're cutting their fingers and all this other stuff. Is it as simple as they just buy into the teamwork of this more than the Americans? The Americans aren't as, for lack of a better term, teamy as the Brits? Or is there more to why the Euros are starting to take this thing over in the last, 20, 30 years?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think going back to when it was just the Great Britain and Ireland, I think we obviously dominated things. But the bringing Europe on years ago, I think the fact that they play a lot more match play growing up over there, it's more a fabric of their culture across Europe. Play in the match play format, so I think that certainly helps. But they also have Americans are much more just in general independent in how they handle their business on tour. They travel more independently. They're just more of a independent contractor type mindset. And the European guys have been historically much closer, do a lot more things together throughout the year. So if there's anything to sort of say that the Americans have failed it in the past. I mean, Paul Azinger put together a heck of a group years ago and did a great job. I think I was at Valhalla when he captained the team. But yeah, bringing those guys together, and that's one of the things this week I think is really. I think Keegan bowing out from playing, I think's really allowed him to focus on bringing the team together, and I think that was a great move as well.
Yeah, difficult, and we talked about that. You and I did, Bill, a few weeks back. I know that was hard for him because he's maybe playing the best golf of his career, but timing is everything, and in this case, he had to focus on one or the other. I think he made the right call as well. When it comes to Bethpage Black, again, a lot of people know and just kind of hear it and think, yeah, it's really hard. I want to ask you a question here, so give me a second to set you up. Well, Kiowa has hosted the Ryder Cup, and it's hosted a couple of majors. How in terms of Bethpage Black, when it's hosted its majors, now here it is with the Ryder Cup, how much more or less difficult do they make a course like this for a Ryder Cup relative to a major? And what have you seen in the past with courses, again, like Kiowa and the Ocean Course that have had both in terms of the setup?
So the setup for Americans in the last several Ryder Cups has been, when we've played well, has been when we've set it up for driving the ball a long way and making a lot of birdies. And so they're bringing the rough down at Bethpage. It's not going to be set up like you would for a U.S. Open or a PGA Championship, a major event. It's more, or a major championship, put it that way. It's still obviously a major, but what they did it really well in France and Italy is they grew the rough in, made the rough a lot higher, grew the fairways in, and took the driver, made the driver really, and made par more of a premium versus birdies, and that plays into the hands of the Europeans. So I think the the one thing about Bethpage that's really interesting is how flat the greens are for a really difficult course. If you compare it to an Augusta National, you'd be blown away by how much more slope there is at Augusta than what they have at Bethpage. And having flattish greens makes them more difficult to read when you don't have a dominant slope. And I actually think that plays into the Americans' hands because the Europeans typically are very, very, very good putters in these match play events.
All right, besides cheating, which I'm all down for, Coach, give me one of the Americans who could go on that Dustin Johnson type heater. What was it, 2021 when Dustin Johnson went insane? I think it was really good and played well. Someone who maybe could carry the U.S. and just have one of those special performances. Is it just the obvious guys like a DeChambeau or Scheffler, or are there some other guys on this team in the weeds that maybe the casual fan doesn't know that could really step it up?
I think Cameron Young is my guy for that. I mean, he's basically a serial killer. I mean, him winning by finally breaking through and winning. I think he's going to take off. I think I have three players this week that I think are really key for the Americans. I think how Keegan pairs up Bryson is really important because that's going to be just a complete circus around that dude. It's going to be a circus. Let's be honest with the whole place that all week, but Bryson's group, he's going to have somebody really strong with him. And then also Morikawa's not coming in great form, but I think the other player, the third, is Cameron Young. To me, really could be that guy you're talking about that really thrives in the moment and has incredible form coming into the event.
Talking to Coach Bill McDonald. Ryder Cup starts tomorrow up on Long Island at Bethpage Black and all weekend long. Weather permitting, by the way. How much do you believe the weather can impact this for either or both of these teams?
Yeah, it looks like the latest report I looked at looked like Sunday might have some rain, but it looked pretty good the first 2 days. Is that what you were seeing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I know this. There's these tropical things that begin to push. I don't think that's going to matter too much, but you never know.
It looks like if they get lucky, they're going to have some pretty good rain, maybe Sunday night or Saturday night into Sunday morning, and that'll change the golf course significantly if it's been dry as everybody's saying it is. But we've all but more or less on the East Coast been in a little bit of a drought, but the thing is for Sunday is that's going to be singles. So they're going to set up the golf course on Sunday for birdies and for excitement, and having it a little softer could be really fun for some exciting golf on Sunday. Hopefully we're just whipping their butts and we're just doing a ceremonial wave the hat and hug and high five kind of thing.
We will have the foursomes announced here in just a little bit. And as a coach, and one of the things that I know we have spoken with you about plenty of times as a college coach especially is that you do have some of that team format and sometimes match play and things like that. In terms of foursomes tomorrow, what's that like for a golfer? Take us through as best you can just that mindset throughout a round.
So if anyone's never played foursomes or what we call alternate shot over here, playing true alternate shot is really, it can be the most fun golf you play if you have a good partner and y'all are jiving, everything's moving along. It can be the most frustrating and difficult way to play the game as well. I think if you and I are playing, Jay, you tee off and then we go to your ball, and then I play, and that's
Coach. If you and I are playing, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
Only one of us is a golf professional. I just want to reiterate that. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, but you do make a point, though, that if your partner is struggling, let's just hypothetically say you would struggle.
Yes, let's hypothetically say that. Let's hypothetically say that, please.
So that would be a difficult format for us, and these guys are that have grown up playing the foursomes and alternate shot. It's ingrained in their culture over there. So it's always a difficult, but sometimes we dominate it. So it's if you get the right pairing and guys are on, but I mean you harken back to Hal Sutton pairing Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods together, thinking they got completely wiped. So it's a tough thing for Coach Bradley to do. I'm sure he's He's got it. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is making sure, and this might be some inside baseball or inside golf type stuff, but like making sure guys are comfortable with the golf ball they're playing and just matching up strengths and weaknesses, distance. Do you put a bomber with a guy that's really good with short game? Is it a personality thing? There are so many factors and variables to consider, but they've had a lot of time to figure that out, and hopefully it's going to be the right mix.
Yeah. Coach, enjoy it. Appreciate you as
Coach.
always. We'll holler at you soon.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
That's
See you,
Coach
Ross.
Bill
Go
McDonald,
USA.
and Go USA in the Ryder Cup. You're listening to the postgame show. Welcome back in. Jay, Terry, Jalen hanging out. Thanks as always to the great coach Bill McDonald. Always appreciate him. Ryder Cup starts tomorrow. The foursomes announced.
I'm picturing you playing golf with McDonald, and coach is carrying you, and you're spraying the thing all over the parking lot, and finally, coach has just had enough of you.
Yeah,
runs you over with the cart.
That would not take long. That would not take long at all. I can assure you that there are scores he has shot that I can only dream of.
Oh, absolutely.
So even when I played a lot of golf, I've said before, I was pretty good. I can't putt. I mean, and I'm never one of those. A lot of people just pick up a putt. 2 feet. I don't like to play that way. Mm-hmm. The thing is, when you don't play that way and you miss them.
Yeah.
And you realize you can't putt. But it also, I think, fools a lot of guys who think, oh, yeah, I went out and shot an 84. And I'm like, you picked up every putt within 3 feet, bro.
How many mulligans did you take there, Bob?
That doesn't count. If you don't finish the job. So anyway, but I always appreciate Coach's time. Yeah, I do. I love the Ryder Cup. And a weekend like this, and again, you got to find ways to watch all your. I'll be honest. I will forsake Red Zone Sunday for the Ryder Cup. Saturday gets different.
Wow.
In terms of some of the college. Well, look. I mean, let's face it. It's week 4 of the NFL season. I don't need to watch Red Zone this week. I get one Ryder Cup every 2 years.
To me,
I'm not watching. I will not watch. I'll find out NFL scores. I don't need to watch Red Zone instead of.
Right. I won't lie because Red Zone is my crack, but I will definitely keep an eye on it. Usually I pay attention to the majors because I'm not into golf the way you are. I pay attention to the majors, but I do dig the Ryder Cup because the patriotism, the team dynamic, the crowds. By the way, the crowds are going to be insane at Bethpage Black.
It's New Yorkers.
It's going to be so cool, and I just think it's so different.
It ain't going to be hard for European fans to fly to LaGuardia or JFK and head on over.
Wasn't it Bethpage Black where they just were hideous to Colin Montgomery and the Mrs. Doubtfire and everything else? Was that Bethpage Black?
I think you're right. It might have.
They broke his soul those days.
That would have been at a major because I don't think.
Was that a major or Ryder Cup? I can't remember. You help me. I'm blanking, but I know they.
Let me double check.
They almost brought him to tears.
Yeah, let me double check that for you because you are right.
Because they were massively brutal to old Colin Montgomery, and I thought it was in New York State. I know it's stunning that New Yorkers could be rude and brutal.
Right. All right, let's open the vault.
Right.
Well, I looked that up. I'll open that vault while you open this one.
All right, this is historic.
Okay.
2000, American basketball player Vince Carter jumps over a 7'2" Frederick Weiss in the 2000 Summer Olympics, known in France as Le Dunk de la Mort or the Dunk of Death. And if I would have had time,
your French is great.
It's beautiful. I took 1 year of French, by the way. You can tell. Long story. Anyway, so that dunk, and everyone's seen it. You've seen the highlight of Carter going over Weiss and just slamming over him. So it's not the dunk itself that's so interesting. It's what happened to Weiss after the dunk.
Right.
He was drafted by the Knicks in the first round, never played in the NBA. Then that dunk happened. And it was a great in-depth piece on him on ESPN.com last year. I mean, he went down some dark roads out. He was humiliated. His countrymen were, he was being basically made fun of and heckled and treated in all sorts of awful ways. Started drinking a ton, depression, all sorts of stuff. And now.
Wait, are you serious about the last part?
Yes.
Yeah,
the dude
this
went.
Is a true. Yes, this
he
actually
went
happened.
dark, man. And I mean, he was married at the time, and he divorced, and he has a child, and the child they reconnect. The whole thing is insane over that dunk. Am I wrong, Jalen? It's over. That dunk really threw him in his whole life. That not making it in the NBA.
For you to get embarrassed on the world stage of the Olympics where millions are watching you.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It was craziness. The whole thing is just that whole story. It's so to this, that happened today in the 2000 Summer Olympics. But the Vince Carter part isn't the interesting side of it. It's the Frederick Weiss part that's really interesting.
Yeah. By the way, this is Bethpage's. I thought so, but I wanted to be sure. This is Bethpage's first Ryder Cup.
Okay, so it was
that happened at the O2 U.S. Open.
Thank you.
As best
I thought it was at Bethpage.
As best I can tell. Let me make certain of that as well. But I'll I'll find that out
All
for
right,
you.
thanks, our
All right,
buddies at
a lot
Purple Wave
more on the
Auctions.
Gamecocks coming up. Carolina, Kentucky on Saturday. Our buddy Hale McGranahan will join us in about 20 minutes. Keep it here. All right, 4 o'clock on a Thursday. Welcome back in. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Jalen Tart at Master Control. We're all inside the Herndon Chevy Studios, downtown Columbia, wherever you might be. Thank you for choosing to be with us. We appreciate you. Thanks again to Bill McDonald. We're having fun at Colin Montgomery's expense here. Terry has something I don't even know about that he's going to show me in a second.
I've forgotten about this.
Bruin, I got to hit him on Twitter here because he might not be listening. Bruin, that's what it says here. Bruin Nation Barbecue. Today's start bench drop is simple, and I put steak. I think he thinks this is me doing this, that he's dropping. He says, who's dropping a ribeye for a strip, if I understood correctly? No, you misunderstood.
Right.
These are the choices.
Right.
And then you start bench drop them as you see fit.
We have not given ours.
Yeah, this is not mine. I'll let him know on Twitter.
Yeah, let him know.
Yeah, that he did misunderstand. But it's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. All right, what you got?
This is I forgot all about this. All right. So Colin Montgomery was Bethpage Black 2002 U.S. Open.
Okay.
Now that incident prompted a Be Nice to Monty campaign, and they gave out buttons, 25,000 buttons with the slogan "Be Nice to Monty" because he was heckled so badly at Bethpage Black in 2002. But the most severe abuse came during the 1999 Ryder Cup near Boston, where he was really heckled.
Was that the Justin Leonard miracle putt?
I think it
from
was.
like a mile and a half away.
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah.
So that's when it was really bad, but
He
it
was
was
actually in like
Bethpage Black
Providence when he
2002.
putted that all the way over the state line.
And it went over the interstate and under a bridge.
Up 95.
That was phenomenal. Oh, did you see where Bradley screwed that up? Called it Justin Rose instead of Justin
I know
Warner?
he didn't mean to.
He didn't mean it. Justin, you just got the
He
name.
didn't mean to.
So yeah, it was 2002 U.S. Open Bethpage Black that Montgomery got heckled so bad they gave out buttons, 25,000 buttons. Be Nice to Monty.
Bless his heart.
But the worst, according to what I'm reading, was the 1999 Ryder Cup in Boston, where they really give the Mrs. Doubtfire thing to him.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised.
Okay, and again, not to be mean.
Meanwhile, they have a Ryder Cup, here in South Carolina, and like, darling, you want some tea?
Sweetie, hi.
Are they picking on you?
That's just not nice.
That's not nice. Darling, I tell you what, when you're done, you come over here. We got some pie.
We got a little peach cobbler.
Yeah, we got some cobbler.
And in New York, hey, Mrs. Doubtfire.
It'll be fine. We made some deviled eggs. It's gonna be good.
I won't lie. When I first heard they were calling him Mrs. Doubtfire, you just start
Kinda
laughing.
funny.
You start
Kinda-
laughing. It's funny.
It's kind of funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's your Colin Montgomery. We got that figured out. Next on the list. What we got next?
Yeah.
to
No.
knock
Again,
off here, Jay Phillips?
today's start bench drop: filet, New York strip, ribeye. Bruin now understands.
Okay, Bruin.
So thank you, Bruin, for asking. Those are the choices.
That's your choices, Bruin.
Yeah, and then you rank them accordingly.
And again, wherever way you want to go.
Yeah. You already know yours. You said.
I got my start.
Okay.
And my starts can probably be different than everybody else, but just me personally, I got my start.
I thought for a minute about putting like a really nice top sirloin on here, but then I thought everybody would drop it. But a top sirloin it's actually a sirloin is underappreciated. Really good flavor. I know it's a little tougher,
It's a little tougher.
but it's got a really nice flavor. So, but I was going to do that instead of the filet, but then I didn't.
Did you at any point think of Steakums? just asking.
I'm going to be real succinct about this. The last time I bought one of those was the last time I bought one of those.
Really?
And I'm going to leave it at that.
I won't lie. When I got my first gig away from home,
I'm going to leave it at
and I was in West Virginia near Bluefield, and I was making like just no money. Those things were cheap back in those days, and there's a reason. There was a reason.
Yes.
Terry ate a lot of Steakums back then.
Have you?
I haven't had one
again,
since.
without being graphic, have you ever seen Jim Gaffigan's bit on Hot Pockets?
Yes.
Okay. I would. You could probably substitute the product you just mentioned for Hot Pockets.
Oh man.
But the first time I ever saw Gaffigan's bit, and he was like, the instructions, and you just need to go see it.
gotta
'cause
see it.
You just
It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
The instructions should just say. Oh my God, it's so funny.
So no Steakums. You never thought about Steakums on this
I
thing.
did not for this. And in fact, I try not to think about those because, as I said, the last time I bought those was the last time I bought those.
They're right up there with me with ramen noodles and Kraft macaroni and cheese because I ate them so much when I was that's all I ate because I was so broke.
That you could continue to eat them. That in and of itself is impressive. Ramen noodles, man. Ramen noodles are good. I don't care how cheap they are. And bro, Kraft macaroni and cheese? Come on.
I couldn't even afford the good Kraft, though. I had to get the white box with the black letters that said
no, I don't recommend that.
Go mac and cheese.
Are you a chicken or beef?
In terms of
ramen.
Noodles.
I guess probably the chicken, but they make one that is there's one we bought that was like a teriyaki something.
Dude, I used to do the shrimp.
I don't know
chicken.
what that is.
Shrimp was
I think,
good.
But chicken is probably that's fine. In fact, we bought
chicken's solid.
Or I say we bought. I don't know who bought it, but we have a cookbook with like how to take ramen noodles.
Oh, we do all sorts of stuff.
And do stuff with it,
Oh, my daughter does that. It's ridiculous.
So, I got no problem with ramen noodles.
I tell you, I go in the macaroni and cheese aisle. I heave.
Well, you know what I used to do?
24 cents a box macaroni and cheese.
I won't lie. I sometimes I used to take. I would take the ramen noodle, the thing, right? Take the packet out, boil the noodles in water. And then drain them, and then just sprinkle the packet over the noodles, so that they're like triple salty.
Oh, that's good. That's a good move.
I'm not sure that was the best thing I could have done,
but
I don't want to make soup out of it all the time.
The tastiest. That was a tasty move.
Yeah,
like that mac and cheese. Honest to God, it looks like somebody just grated chalk and put it in a box.
Yeah, I would always say what you need to do is you do need to buy the name brand of the mac and cheese, but what you do is you go buy it in bulk. So whether you're Sam's or something, or even most grocery stores will have like a 6-pack of that,
right?
And just save money that way. Then you're getting like one free,
right?
But if you want to really fancy that up, when I was in college, you take that and then you put like a slice of Kraft singles or whatever.
But you come from people who cook,
right? That was how my mom.
I come from a guy who drives a forklift. Come on.
Now, of course, if I told my mother, because my mother, there was only one way to have mac and cheese, and that's my mom's
homemade
mac and cheese casserole.
It was either the noodles, the mac and cheese, or the Chef Boyardee ravioli.
Let me tell you what, Chef Boyardee and I spent a lot of time together.
Beefaroni, I
like the beefaroni.
You got to be old enough, but roller coasters.
I remember roller coasters.
Yeah, man. But beefaroni is still. See, again, I don't even know when I've last had beefaroni, but that stuff's good.
Beefaroni was good,
I love that stuff, man.
I can still eat. I can still crack a can of that. It doesn't matter what it is. It tastes good.
But the aroni part is great.
I think they make it out of steakums.
But it's good. Anyway, all right. So have fun with Start Bench Drop. But now we got just this conversation is making it easier for me to have future Start Bench Drop categories. I've got categories now. I do indeed. Jalen, let's get to a couple of cuts here before we talk to Hale. We'll set things up on Carolina football. Cut number, where were we? At number 12, a quick one here. This is Mike Shula. Asked yesterday at his press conference to give a quick assessment of how he feels the pass game is going.
Yeah, I think at times we had some big plays the other night. It was really good. I mean, I think all of us, when you look at it, you're like, wow, some really good stuff right there. Guys running by people for big plays, guys getting open on zones, and guys taking short passes and getting yards after the catch. Just got to see more of it.
Everything that we hear, and one of the reasons I wanted to play that is because the last part there, we got to see more of it. That too, Terry, is a theme for this ball club. There's flashes, even a couple of times in the run game, though not nearly as many as in the pass game, obviously. But we got to be more consistent, and it comes back to a point that I think you've been making that maybe some of us, myself included, have not put enough thought into or maybe given us enough of a reason, and that is the experience level. That there are guys on this ball club that just, you keep making the great point. A lot of these guys were driving a minivan last year, and I'll say of my own, I had not thought about it in those terms because I know how well they've recruited and developed.
Yeah.
But whether it's offense or defense, but maybe there's just some guys that under the lights are still just a little intimidated by what the moment is providing.
It could be. I mean, you're taking guys who have a lot of upside and, came out of high school highly thought of, but they haven't been in this role before.
Right.
Like, I mean, look, you brought up the linebackers in the offseason. I mean, our boy Fred's got a ton of upside and ability. Murphy, J.O., Willis, they're all like guys with physical skills. But now you're saying, okay, step up. I now need you to be the man. I now need you to play in a role you've never played before. Some guys just fall right into it and go. Like Dylan Stewart last year as a freshman, stepped in and became wow right away. Some guys, you put them into that role and it takes them some time to get their swerve, so to speak, right? I mean, we've asked that on the offensive line with some guys. Wide receivers. There's so much just raw ability in that wide receiver room. But think about it. Nick Harbor was an edge pass rusher and a tight end in high school. Mazio Bennett is in his second year. I thought he'd be the guy that popped. I've been kind of confused by that. You've seen some freshmen make some plays, and you hit it, though. It's not consistent moments, but we're seeing flashes and moments.
Right.
At some point, the toughest thing, I think, I shouldn't say, one of the toughest things is to go from giving flashes and consistently doing it game to game to game.
Yeah, and again, that's fixing you to a large degree. Now, look, sometimes there will be things that an opponent is going to do to disrupt your flow, and that's part of the game. That's what football's all about.
And that's when you adjust to their adjustment.
But
right.
it does feel, in a lot of ways, that predominantly, at least, what has bothered Carolina in these two conference losses has been them, not the other guy. And again, Lenore's got hurt, and you do have to take that into account. To what degree that's going to be up to you as an individual.
Right. Well, I look at it with, even going back to the defensive front. I mean, you've got a lot of guys with talent, but they've never been asked to be this guy before. And now they're being asked. So you've got all these talented guys, but now you're saying, okay, I need you to step up now.
Right.
Now you got to be more than you've ever been. And we're depending on you to do that now. And I think that goes with leadership as well as on the field play. And I know nobody wants to go, well, it shouldn't take a little time. We only got 12 games of this, fellas. Yeah. But I feel like that could be part of it, yeah.
Go back on the other side, our buddy Hale McGranahan. Say it fast, Jay. Hale McGranahan, ready to go. So excited to talk more football. But Hale will join us here. We'll get his take on what he's seen from the coaches this week and what to anticipate Saturday night as the Gamecocks take on Kentucky. This is the postgame show. 17 minutes after 4 o'clock here on a Thursday afternoon. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. Talking more Carolina football as the Gamecocks get ready for Kentucky. Always a pleasure to be joined by our buddy Hale McGranahan, a fellow Fish fan who was down there. We've talked about that already since he's been on with us this summer a few times. But Mrs. Phillips and I, Hale, were trying to get tickets for MSG, and we can't. Do you know anybody?
No, I was actually hanging out with a buddy playing golf this afternoon, and he said he put in, and no luck for him either. So, no, to answer your question, not to my knowledge.
That's hard. You know anybody that can get me some tickets for?
Yo, sure.
I know some people.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know some people.
Oh,
I know some people.
Jalen used to live in New York, so maybe he can. All right, Hale, sit tight. We'll see if
make some
Jalen.
money.
We'll see if Jalen can get it done.
I mean, I know some people. Now this is.
Yeah, but see,
Terry
you're
might
going to
have
sit here
better-
and say, like,
Terry
people
might have better success than me.
people
but
go
I know
to
some people.
Madison Square Garden to see fish. You're thinking, like, what do they have, like 20 tickets, 30 tickets?
Man, pretty much.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Now I'm saying these tickets, we can get them. I don't know what, how this is going to go down
I don't
and
care.
what has to be paid.
I don't care.
He's going to make that
It's
flight.
not,
regarded
it's not
to get there
illegal
anyway.
to do this.
No, it's not. Not at
Well,
all.
at least across the river in Jersey. Again, there's an old line in the Wilbury song. Everything's legal in Jersey as long as you don't get caught. So
That's right.
I think that's in Hamilton, too. All right, Hale, before we do anything further with music or Broadway, let's get to the Gamecocks. Fixing themselves is the theme, and they're obviously all well aware of that. Players have spoken about it, the head coach, the coordinators, and yet we really haven't seen enough of it, obviously, in terms of the first two conference games. What feeling have you gotten from them as to what they need to fix first when it comes to themselves?
Just playing better, not getting caught up with pre-snap penalties, tackling. Those were definitely issues last week, and the pre-snap penalties have been a problem really since the first week. And I guess the tackling hasn't been great the last 2 weeks. So those seem simple enough, but have yet to really come to fruition. So I think if they can do those two things on Saturday, they're going to give themselves a chance to beat Kentucky. So we'll see.
Hale, and we bring up these two things, and if you're a fan, you go, well, pre-snap penalties, what's easy? Know the snap count. This ain't tough. Or tackling. Wrap dudes up. Come on, what are we doing here? Break down, do the fundamental things. Obviously, it's not as easy as we think and say. Let's go to the pre-snap penalties really quick. From what you're gathering, is this communication? People just not on the same page? Because you think this would be a no-brainer to fix.
I think just focus. I mean, it's really been, one guy here can mess that all up. So if you've got guys who aren't all set and the quarterback snapping the ball before the wide receivers are in their stance for 1 second, then that's the quarterback. If it's an offensive lineman, not knowing the snap count, or the center being ahead of everybody else, it's been a little bit of everything to this point of the season. So I think that's probably what's got to be most frustrating for the coaches and the players and everyone else, obviously, is that it's just one guy here and there, and it just kind of seems to mess things up. And what maybe compounds the frustration is that, there were 3 of those false starts that were on 1st and 10 last week, and there have been a handful of those so far this season before last weekend.
Yeah, and I was making the point, Hale, the other day, too. Again, you can't directly compare the Carolina program and the Georgia program, and that's not fair. But Georgia went to Knoxville last week and committed 0 on the road, 0 false start penalties. It's just those are the things that you must master, especially on the road. Hale McGranahan of the Big Spur with us. I know this is an opinion question, but hear me out, and then just in a general sense, are we, whether it's media, fans, all together, are we making too much of the notion that Lenoris doesn't look like Lenoris?
I think he has shown that he can play better, and it's been in a variety of different ways where he's had some issues and hadn't played at his best, whether it's decision making as a passer and dropping back, or knowing when to get rid of the ball or trying to keep it and keep a play alive, or just probably more than just those couple of things. So yeah, I don't think he's played at his best. I was of that belief really in those first 2 weeks. Folks are worrying about the offense and maybe questioning some of the play calling, and I was pretty committed to the idea of, like, hey, he has not played well. And again, I think Lenoris would probably say that himself, but he's got to play better. And obviously the coaches put guys in position to go out and make plays, but there have been a handful of things, again, going back to just some of the things that just kind of beat yourself, taking a sack on first and goal at the 2-yard line, or doing that similar type of thing where you're taking just a really long loss when you don't really need to. And that's got to be what's most frustrating for everybody. And I'm sure that he wants to correct those things himself. But with this guy, as we all know, he can turn an 18-yard loss into a 33-yard flick of the wrist downfield and get Nick Harbor close to a first down marker or something like that. So it's a delicate balance.
Hale, flipping over the defense, like Dylan Stewart, we've seen some frustration at the end of these last couple of games. He's double-teamed constantly. Give me your thought on his play so far this year.
Yeah, I can't blame him for getting frustrated because it seems like there's just a real glaring one, especially early on in the games. It seems like that there's just really blatant that everybody sees it but the guys who have the yellow flags in their pockets aren't throwing them. And that probably just adds to the frustration, and I think it would help if he had somebody like Kyle Kennard on the other side of him to maybe take some of that attention away from him, but that's not what he's got right now, and that's the unfortunate thing for Carolina is coming into the season when everyone knew they had to replace Kyle Kennard and they go get a Jaylen Brown out of the portal and he's hurt, and one of the two guys they get after he goes down is George Wilson, and he's hurt, so that's two pretty solid pass rushers who aren't out there trying to help take some of that attention away from Dylan Stewart. So certainly got to get better.
Hale, let me take you back to the offense, and let's go behind Lenoris. The run game, it doesn't really matter who's trying to carry the ball. They haven't gotten it done. What more might you be learning about personnel usage, trying to and we know, and it's just one, I don't want to pick on the kid too much, but Rasul Faison had a bad block miss the other night on that first and goal at the 2, and a lot of times with running backs, we know that it's as much about what they can do without the football in terms of identifying protection and things like that. So have you gotten any more on just what it is that they want to do to try and get the run game going better?
Yeah, I mean, as far as that particular play, I mean, that's one of those where going back to Lenoir, if he just throws it away, then I don't think anybody even notices Rasul Faison missing that block right there because they're probably scoring a touchdown within the next 1 or 2 plays.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like what they showed with Matthew Fuller last week and getting him in on some of those two-back looks and getting him a couple carries. It just seems like to me, whether it's in a spring game or mop-up time against a lesser opponent, that he's always shown some things and flashed. And I think it would be maybe a good thing if he can get some more touches and featured a little bit more. I'm not saying that thinking that he's going to get like 15 carries this weekend, but two's a starting point, and those are a couple meaningful carries. And if he can get a few more and continue to build, I think that he's a really talented guy, and running back recruiting has been an issue since, at least 10 years ago for South Carolina. And I think he's got something. I want to see more of it. I'm interested to see how much more we'll get this weekend.
Shane made mention on Tuesday, and I'll get you out of here on this question. This game, this is my words now, but rock fight, right? That the winning offense hasn't scored more than 24 points in this game going back about a decade. Over-under this weekend, for what it's worth to anybody, is 46.5. So certainly the bookmakers feel that it's going to be that kind of game. With what you've seen the last couple of weeks, do you feel like this team is prepared for what we likely believe Kentucky brings defensively this weekend?
Well, got to stop the run. That's obviously key. I mean, we saw a 300-yard or nearly 300-yard outing last week by the opponent. So we all know Kentucky is shooting for that. And if they can do that this weekend, it's probably not going to be a good bye week. I think everyone can assume that. So what encourages me, though, and what may not make it what may not make it a rock fight is what we've seen in the passing game, and they were able to get some explosive plays and and Lenore's does have a really good arm. You know, I'm certainly right there with everyone else, and I want to see him be able to run the ball, but he can throw the ball downfield, and they've got some guys who can get open downfield. And whether it's Brian Rowe or Vandrubus Jacobs or Nick Harbor or one of those other guys, Jared Brown, who knows? They've got some options, and I think that's something to build on. And if they're going to get this run game going, I think it would be hopeful if they can continue pushing the ball downfield with the passing game.
You just mentioned something, so I lied. I got one more quick one for you here because you mentioned it could be a
You
bad
told
off
Hill
week.
that was it.
I know, but it could be a bad off week. So scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being absolute must win. Saturday night is what?
It is an absolute must win for sure. You know, I've wondered myself, is it a must win or a can't lose? But I think it's a must win because that would just be a rough way to try to go down to Baton Rouge, coming off a loss to Kentucky at home and sitting there 2-3.
All right, appreciate you as always.
Thank you, my man.
If you find any New Year's tickets for MSG, give me a call.
I'll follow up with you. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
That's our buddy Hale McGranahan. He's on the beat for thebigspur.com, and we'll talk to him again real soon.
He's not
Appreciate
calling
you.
if he finds tickets.
All right, we'll take well, he needs to get his first. We'll take an early drive around the SEC after this.
We talk about Kreger Showrooms all the time, formerly The Nest, in 5 Points on Gadsden. Look, you need experts, people who know what's going on when you want to do important things. And what's more important, really, than the biggest investment in your life, and that is your home. And The Nest, 70 years of experience. They know what's going on when it comes to appliances, when it comes to bathrooms and fixtures and lighting and things that can really improve your house. Those are the people to go to. You just call them 803-978-2025, set an appointment, tell them what you want to do, your budget, your goals. They'll bring you in. You'll be in the greatest showroom ever, and you can make an informed decision using experts at The Nest. 803-978-2025 in the Vista. Have a few accidents so far happening on the roadways. Augusta Road at Laurel Road in Lexington, also Forest Drive near Percival Road. Percival Road at Screaming Eagle Road, South Lake Drive at Platte Springs Road in Lexington. Back in Columbia, Two Notch Road at Polo Road. All right, checking the road, some accidents already. A couple in Lexington, Augusta Road at Laurel Road. Also South Lake Drive at Platte Springs Road. Forest Drive near Percival Road, there's an accident. Percival Road again involved, this time at Screaming Eagle Road. And in Columbia, Two Notch Road at Polo Road. First check on the traffic for today. We have some accidents through the area. Starting off, a couple in Lexington, Augusta Road at Laurel Road, also South Lake Drive at Platte Springs Road. Forest Drive near Percival Road, and also Percival Road at Screaming Eagle Road. Two Notch Road at Polo Road, also an accident there. And we have our typical long-term construction, I-126, I-20, and I-26. So navigate around it and try not to bite your steering wheel. All right, we will come back and hear our drive around the SEC on the post-game show here on The Game.
All right, it is Drive Around the SEC time. Welcome back in. Jay, Terry, Jalen with you. Thanks once again to Hale McGranahan for joining us. Excuse me. We'll start with some news down in Gainesville. It only gets worse, it seems, now for the Florida Gators, who are off this weekend, but they will not be getting starting cornerback Dijon Johnson back this season. He is done for the year, injured his knee Saturday night against the Hurricanes and had surgery yesterday. And unfortunately, he is done for the season. So we talked a lot about Florida yesterday, and that if they were going to make a move on Billy Napier, you would have probably done it if you were Scott Strickland Sunday or Monday, because you are off this week, and it could have immediately allowed the team to regroup with an interim head coach and then start preparing for what's in front of them after this off weekend. But they didn't, so for now at least they're sticking with him. Doesn't mean they believe in him, Terry, but then you get news like this, and you know, I don't really see a way out. Look, there is a way out.
Sure, win.
And it's go win a bunch of football games. And maybe they can. I don't know. You look back at the LSU game, and I still can't tell if that tells me more about Florida or LSU. I think LSU's defense is a whole lot better this year, and DJ threw 5 picks, and yet LSU only scored 20 points, so maybe Florida can play some defense, but then Miami was a lot better than you last weekend, and you were better with the football. And really, after a while, it was funny. Josh Pate, I don't know if you saw Josh Pate's show, but he said the touchdown that they called back, and he was like, that was the mercy rule. They were like, you've beaten them bad enough. Yeah. They're not going to win. Yeah. We're going to take that one off the board. Yeah. And so I don't know where UF is right now.
And losing Johnson, he was a solid corner, hurts. But Lagway's been in a boot, walking around again. So is he injured? Has he ever been healthy? Who knows? I don't know.
I doubt it.
If your foot's in a boot or not. Still, the picks were just poor decisions and poor throws. They're just bad. Your offense, which you thought was going to be much better, and Lagway was almost like really saved your job last year, the way DJ Lagway played once he stepped in the starting lineup. Feels like Lagway's regressed. The entire offense has regressed. Once again, everybody's looking at Billy Napier. Why can't you just take your hands off the offense, bro?
And he's not gonna. He had in his teleconference yesterday. He said, "No, I'm a play caller." And I think he's like, look, you're paying me,
right?
Part of my job description.
And look, if I'm going down, the Titanic's going down, and I'm steering this thing.
He's the captain.
I'm not going to hand it off to somebody else. And I just think again, why you're not moving on from him yet, and who hired him?
Scott Strickland.
Who's the AD?
Scott Strickland.
In their next 2 games, they're playing at home against number 10 Texas and then going on the road at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, you have another bye week after Mississippi State. I guess if you lose to Mississippi State at home, you're probably done in the bye week. But you shouldn't lose to Mississippi State at home.
You shouldn't. But they are state. They are improving.
They are better than they were last year.
You can see it now. To what level? There's still a lot of games. And listen, you and I talked about this yesterday too, and we'll mention it again here in a second. Tennessee's going down there. I know it's not a prediction, but it's still a measurement. Tennessee's only a 7.5-point favorite. That surprised me because here's the thing. I don't know if you do this or not. I've done this throughout my career. I like to at least, because I'm not a bookmaker, but I like to at least. Before I look on Monday morning when I'm starting to make the first week's rundown, right? I like to kind of guess about every conference game. Like sure. I will. Sometimes I'm really close. Sometimes I'm really far off. And with I thought For Tennessee, I was like 11-13. So when I saw 7.5, and it's holding at 7.5, I was like, okay, it tells me something.
If you'd asked me to lay a number, like close my eyes on a Monday before I looked, I would say 12.5 would have been what I thought.
That's where I was. I was like 11-13 is where I was thinking.
I was very surprised that number.
Yeah.
And
So again, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Maybe Tennessee could win by 50. Who
so
knows?
circling back to Florida, if God forbid, 'cause I think you lose your next two. But if you lose to Mississippi State at home, Billy just needs to fire himself because, I mean, you can't come back from that. And it's not anything mean to Mississippi State. It's just you figure out of that gauntlet, you should pull that W.
Yeah.
And if you lose the next two and then get beat by Mississippi State in the swamp, if you're Scott Strickland, you almost have no choice at that point. I mean, I know last year they got on a run at the end of the season, and maybe Strickland's thinking about that too. Hey, remember you guys were firing in this time last year too, and look what happened.
Well, that's why I told you earlier, and I realized because I got a little pushback for it, like, because I said a few weeks back, listen, you should have just gone ahead and done it. But they did close well. I understand that, and yet, if you're looking deeply enough, what really changed? Because remember, they kind of put Billy's feet to the fire midway through last season, and he said, "Oh, okay, I'll do some things," and then they won some games, and then at the end of the season, it's like, yeah, those things that you wanted me to do, yeah, we're not going to do them because we don't need to now.
We made it
because it's all good.
We made it,
and maybe you should have realized, well, hey, why don't we build from here?
Yeah,
and they didn't, and now I think maybe you see more. My opinion, but maybe you see more of the Florida football reality. And then on top of it, you lose a kid in Dijon Johnson, who, again, has next-level potential. And
was having a solid year.
That hurts. I mean, he's your starter. He's one of your starters, and that hurts. So we'll see. But, again, UF off this week. But that was the news there. Bama, Georgia, the spread back up to 3.5 in favor of the Bulldogs at Sanford Stadium. Notre Dame, Arkansas, Notre Dame minus 4.5. That one's interesting.
I was about to say that, too. That's an interesting game as well.
Notre Dame is now, let's face it, we talked about whether Carolina, Kentucky, Jalen, is must-win. Notre Dame is in must-win mode
yes.
Rest
every
of the
week.
year.
Clearly.
Rest of the year.
Yeah.
And
a 9-3 Notre Dame even with the if they lose, depending on who they would lose to, but I don't see a 9-3 Notre Dame getting into the playoffs.
Oh no! As bad as college football wants them in, you can't put a 9-3 Notre Dame in. No,
there won't be a call from Burbank.
Not on that one. Hey, that's Notre Dame, right? Yeah, but they've lost 5 games. It's Notre Dame. You know that, right?
I'm going to do all I can, by the way, to find out that there was somebody from Burbank that said, "You putting Southern Methodist in instead of Alabama."
I guarantee you that call was made. You look at this game. Arkansas has found God knows how many ways to soil themselves late in games. The Memphis game.
Don't turn the ball over.
They've blown massive big leads. They're dangerous, though. In Fayetteville, for Notre Dame, that's a dangerous game. Because if Arkansas could ever get their head out of their lower extremities and play a 4-quarter football game, Taylor Green's talented. They've got some dudes on both sides of the ball with talent. They just seem to. It's like Sam Pittman gets them together at some point in the game. Okay, fellas, how you want to screw this one up?
I tell you what I don't like about this game is that it's an 11 o'clock local time kick.
Oh yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think that plays into Notre Dame's hands.
I don't disagree. That's a TV
I need
deal
to.
right there.
By the way, the other day, and I realized it was a morning game for both of them. But the Texas Tech Utah game, 10 a.m.
That's what we're doing for TV, man.
No. Well, then we need to.
The line should be drawn.
Well, the schools
to the point of schools have to stand up.
The schools have to stand up for themselves
because you don't start a game at 10 a.m.
You just don't, and I don't care because you just can't do that.
No, I agree with you. You can't start a game at 10 a.m. No, that's asinine.
LSU Ole Miss. This one is Mississippi minus 1.5 in Oxford. Again, I was watching Josh Pate's most recent show. And he seems to believe that he is all in on Ole Miss and would be all in on Ole Miss at an even bigger number. He's like all the way up to 4.5.
I agree.
Do you? I don't. I like in fact, I kind of like LSU to go in and by the time there's 5 minutes left, that this game's done.
Here's my thing. This is a different version of LSU. They're tough. They're physical. They play really good D. And Ole Miss under Lane has had issues with physical football teams, especially defensive teams with the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And that's what LSU is. And I'll be honest with you, Ole Miss is going to start Chambliss at quarterback and not Simmons, which I think is the right move because Chambliss has been better than Simmons.
Yeah.
But I don't know how good Ole Miss is.
Well, what do you like, Jalen?
I personally think if you can't score over 23 points, there's something wrong.
That's fair.
You got to be able to score
fair.
the ball. If your defense is your top asset, Ole Miss is a good fast-paced team. They know they got a quality quarterback that can throw the ball. Their defense is really good. It could be a slugfest going into this weekend. I don't know what Brian Kelly can do. I don't know how well his team is on the road.
But I guess here's my thing.
They won at Clemson, but that's it so far.
They did.
I mean, here I guess here's my thing with Ole Miss is, and we'll find out this Saturday. Ole Miss kind of bumbled around with Kentucky.
They not kind of.
It was the whole game.
I mean, I think we were expecting Ole Miss to go up
we
there.
were waiting for Ole Miss at some point.
In a revenge factor,
right?
And that didn't happen.
And I just don't know how good the quarterback play will be consistently for Ole Miss. And LSU's got to get better on offense with the pieces they have. At some point, this thing has got to kick into gear.
Yeah, I can't. 56 against Southeast Louisiana, but otherwise 17 against Clemson, 23 against Louisiana Tech, and 20 against Florida. And again, 20 against Florida when you at home at night got 5 interceptions.
Think about it.
And you could still only score 20 points. So you make a good point there. We'll see. There you go. All right, that's the drive around the SEC. We'll update. I mean, a lot of you hitting us with start, bench, drop. Again, filet mignon, New York strip, ribeye, start, bench, drop those cuts. We'll get you that and a little J or nay coming up.
Men's Clinic of South Carolina, just once again, if you're a guy and you're struggling, man, it's not happening the way it used to. You're getting older. You're not as sharp as you used to be. You don't sleep like you used to. At the gym, those extra few reps are gone. You don't bounce back from exercise very well. You just don't have the same drive, whether it's professional, sexual, personal, whatever. You just, you got the aches. You just like the remote in your hand, lay on the couch. It could just be low testosterone. That's simple. It could be low T. You call 803-875-MENS. You set an appointment. You go in and tell Dr. Dan and the staff your issues. If it is low T, they'll do some lab work to find out for sure. And if it does come back low testosterone, they'll put you on a program specifically designed for you to get you back to being you again. 803-875-MENS. It's a Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Just make the call. Go find out if it's low T or not.
Welcome back in. Jay, Terry, Jalen with you. Next hour, headlines of the day. Gamecock Notebook. Speaking of Gamecocks, tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on most of these airwaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them?
Here and in Myrtle Beach.
So that's half
2 out of 4.
Okay.
But
I'm still going to say most because it just feels better for me to say it that way. I don't want to be wrong. Where was I?
most is a good enough way to say it.
Thanks, Ter.
Hey, you're welcome.
7 o'clock tonight. It's Carolina Calls with Shane Beamer and Todd Ellis. Hey, Todd was part of that game I was talking about the other day. 87 Clemson game.
That's right.
That was fun. If you listen.
Do you ever look at Todd and go, yeah, man, I remember watching you when I was a kid?
Yeah.
He probably
yeah.
takes that well.
Well, he's only a couple years older than me. I mean, he got out of college. He got his last year of college was my first year of college. So it's not.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
No.
I think. Well, is it? Yeah. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
It's close. It's close.
yeah, same neighborhood.
It's close. But I was going to say, if you listen closely, hold on. Shh.
Mm-hmm.
You can still hear it. You hear it from the 87 game? Listen. Rodney. Y'all can hear it, can't you? That wasn't me.
Oh, wasn't you? Okay.
That wasn't me.
Lord.
That was a fun game. That's a fun game. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Start, bench, drop. Y'all are blowing it up. Thank you. Today's start, bench, drop. Filet mignon, New York strip, ribeye. You start one, you bench one, you drop the other. Let's see. Franklin, start the ribeye, bench the strip, drop the filet. But he adds in, although a pimento cheese crusted grilled filet slaps.
That was long.
Wow.
Slaps.
Look at that guy. Slaps.
And
That's nice.
Franklin is like the kids, but I know how old Franklin is, give or take. So way to go, Franklin. Ryan, start the strip, bench the filet, drop the ribeye. Now, I put in mine, I said, they're all done medium well, right? And Ryan says, well done. Burn them to a crisp, please. Oh, no.
I mean, look, I don't want to put a fork in mine that goes moo, but I don't want it to where I can break a window with it either.
I can't. At that point, don't even get a steak.
Medium well.
Really? Oh, no. So is there any pink in a medium well?
Just a little. Well done?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no, medium rare, bro.
Medium rare, okay.
Yeah, medium rare.
Yeah, I can't do that either. I can't go that far on the rare. I can't
rare.
use that R word. I need mine cooked a little bit.
I can't.
No, medium rare every day. I don't care what cut it is either. Yeah, all of it, medium rare. Let's see. Ashuk says, start the ribeye, bench the filet, drop the strip. T says, probably not a popular take. Start the ribeye, bench the strip, cut the filet. That's a fine take.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that take.
Yeah, I got no.
Not at all.
In fact, that might be mine. It might not.
You know what I'm thinking on that
Might
road,
be.
too.
I'm not saying it is. Actually, it's.
I will say this. I'm starting the ribeye.
Okay.
I love a good ribeye.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, I know, again, I'm with my man there. Everybody kind of puts the ribeye on the side. No, ribeye's fantastic.
Do they?
I love a ribeye.
I don't know. I
love a ribeye,
I know
man.
lots of people that love a ribeye.
I tell you.
Our buddy Will King, my great friend Will King, start the ribeye.
Good
bench
job,
the filet,
Will King.
Cut the New York strip.
Mm-hmm.
Cree says ribeyes starting all day
Nice.
over those other bums, but medium. Medium. Medium is absolutely the highest level of cooking I could do for a steak.
See, I need mine done. I just don't want it rough. I'm in that little wheelhouse where I want it to have a little juiciness and tenderness
if
to
it's
it, but
gray,
I can't see
man.
red, man.
Yeah.
I can't see red.
No, I don't mind it at all. All right, what do we have? Do we have music?
Oh yeah, I didn't. That's on me.
That's okay.
I didn't get a chance to get it's on me.
Okay.
Won't be that. I forgot to get him that while I was in there. All right, real quick. Patrick Mahomes is 23rd in the NFL in quarterback rating. Patrick Mahomes last year statistically was the worst deep ball thrower in the NFL. The Chiefs' offense has started to sputter over the last couple years, and really their defense has been carrying them. Are Patrick Mahomes' best days behind him?
Nay. They need to get him some new wide receivers. They need to get him some people that can stretch the field. And again, one of the most elite tight ends to ever play the game is past his prime, and you can't rely on him to do the things that he used to do. They've got to get him some weapons. He's only 30, man.
Yeah, once their top two receivers aren't playing right now. I think once you get your receivers on the field,
he needs help. He's only 30.
Jay or nay, Bruce Bochy's third year of his 3-year contract as a Texas Ranger manager is ending. Bochy doesn't know if he wants to return or not. There's been no word if the Rangers want to try to have him return. Won the World Series in his first season, but has missed the playoffs the last 2 years. If you're the GM of the Texas Rangers, do you want Bruce Bochy back as your manager?
Nay, and I think Bruce may realize, I had a good life out on the coast of
He's
California.
70, man.
And I've made a lot of money. I've won a lot of World Series. What's that, 4?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame yet, is he?
He'll be a Hall of Fame
He
manager.
needs to be.
Absolutely.
There's no timetable on him. You don't have to be 5 years, right,
No.
for a manager.
Yeah, he'll
Get
be
him in there.
He'll be in.
Yeah, I'd hang him up, Bruce, and go get you a boat and sail out to Catalina Island.
Look at your rings, all 4 of them.
Yeah. Glimmer in the sun when you're on that boat going to Catalina Island.
No wrong with that, man. Enjoy yourself.
All right, we got a lot of headlines to get to. Gamecock Notebook with more sound from the coordinators, and an earlier than normal wild card showdown next hour. Keep it here.
Traffic, still some accidents. Percival Road at Screaming Eagle Road in Richland. In Lexington, still those 2 accidents. South Lake Drive at Platte Springs Road, St. Andrews Road at Tram Road, and 2 Notch at Polo Road as well. Long-term construction, I-126 between Hugie and I-26. I-26 Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road exit as well.
It is 5 o'clock news time on this Thursday. It's also the final hour of the postgame show. Welcome back in alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. Jalen Tart at Master Control. Gamecocks hosting the Kentucky Wildcats. The line down to 5.5 now. So a little bit of money flowing towards the Wildcats for Saturday night's ball game. Gamecocks still given a 58% chance to win, according to ESPN's FPI computer. It's probably not as big a number as people would have thought a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think the last couple of weeks have brought that number down a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Mark Stoops has been talking this week. We've heard a lot from Carolina coaches, and we will hear more from the 2 coordinators coming up in our Gamecock Notebook. But here's Mark Stoops on why he thinks his team in the last couple of years has struggled against Clayton White.
The 4 games in particular, but they're a good team. They last year, I think, was the game that stood out. It was just protection. They had some guys that wrecked it, and pressure was a big thing. I think last year, that was I think it was the first SEC game for us, and going into that matchup, we didn't know exactly who, how we would hold up, and I think we found a lot out in that game that was a tough matchup for us. And so, to your point earlier, do what you can do and find some ways to chip and protect and not let those guys just wreck a game. But we're all South Carolina. They've always been good matchups. They've always played very aggressive, extremely impressive up front. In particular, if you're going back to the past, last year they had really good cover guys. A lot of those guys returned, and the guys up front. I don't think enough was talked about last year with their interior players, and the same this year. Very disruptive, but last year they had some very experienced guys that were there for a long time to go with the game wreckers on the edge.
He makes a good point about the guys in the middle. And there, again, we saw some of the analytic breakdown that Carolina actually did have a lot of nice plays at the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, you also had a lot more plays that did ultimately hit. And Kentucky will be trying to, I think, take as much of that run game blueprint from Missouri and turn this into a time of possession, slow it down, keep Lenoris Sellers off the field tight. They have to, because otherwise I don't really see a way out for Kentucky from their own offensive perspective in terms of just being prolific. They will not come in here and score a lot of points.
Yeah, the good news, and again, Will Helms did a really nice breakdown of this on Gamecock Central. The good news here is the formula that Vanderbilt and Missouri used. Kentucky's not built to do the same thing to that level. I mean, yes, they have 2 good backs, but their quarterback situation is a mess. And because of that, their passing game hasn't been consistent at all. Their offensive line, their tackles struggle. Defensively, they're not disruptive like Missouri. And not to be mean, look, Vanderbilt ran a specific type of system of offense that's very difficult to deal with. Kentucky is not that animal. So really, you're right. Kentucky wants to do some of the things that Vanderbilt and Missouri did. I don't think Kentucky is built to do those things, though, which is good news for South Carolina. Does that say that we're not going to see a rock fight? Almost all these games except last year have been rock fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my point is, Kentucky really doesn't have the goods to do some of the things that Missouri and Vanderbilt did on both sides of the ball.
We'll have more sound from Coach Shula and Coach White looking ahead from their perspective to Kentucky coming up again, Gamecock Notebook, in just a few minutes' time. Meanwhile, pretty big ruling out in Texas in college football. We told you about this story a couple of weeks ago. Lewis Moore is a safety at Indiana. Now, he is from Texas, and he played a couple of years at a junior college in Texas, Navarro Junior College. In fact, he played 2 years there, but he was in school at Navarro JUCO for 3 years. He had one redshirt year. Then he went to Indiana for a couple of seasons. Then he went 1 year last season to Mississippi, and this year has returned to IU. He had sued, though, because the NCAA said, no, your eligibility is done after last year at Ole Miss. So he sued back home in Texas. And this morning, yesterday, a judge in Texas named Dale Tillery ruled that the NCAA's eligibility rule violated Texas antitrust law and the so-called Texas Antitrust Act. Now, this is not a federal situation. This is a Texas situation for a young man who plays in the Big Ten, where there are currently no schools from Texas. He has an attorney named Brian Lawton who said this is a big victory not only for Lewis, but for all similarly situated student athletes who have illegally had their eligibility for attending junior colleges taken from them by the NCAA. Moore currently leads Indiana with 23 tackles. He has 2 picks. Again, he is from Mesquite, Texas, played at Navarro from 19 through 22. So he had his COVID year as well. Redshirted, got hurt, went to IU. Now he's back. This is a temporary injunction order, and it was necessary so that he could play immediately. There is no word here, Terry, from and, of course, Indiana wants him to play.
Sure.
But there's no word from the NCAA. There's no word from the Big Ten. I'm no lawyer, and I'm all for the kids, but I do draw lines. Mm-hmm. And I if I'm the NCAA, I'm appealing this as quickly as possible, not to be mean to Lewis Moore, but how are you going to allow a judge in Texas, a state judge in this case, mm-hmm. When it's federal judges and but this kid doesn't. I realize too that he played his JUCO in Texas, therefore that's why it matters. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know where. Again, I'm not a lawyer, right. But if I'm the NCAA, I've got to think. Okay, what more can we do about this to try to enforce our rules? Otherwise, how many people? Yeah, please, Terry.
NCAA, just throwing something out there, spitballing. You can collectively bargain with the players, and you can set eligibility limits.
Yes. They're not doing that. I wish they would, man. You know how I feel. This one to me. You know me well enough now. We've worked together long enough, and I'm falling on the side of the players the vast majority of the time. But on this one, I'm not so sure. I mean, you played 3 years of major college football, mm-hmm. and you played 2 years of JUCO ball. Mm-hmm. So you got your 5. Mm-hmm. You had your redshirt year and your COVID year in there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's it, man.
I was about to say, that's it.
That's it.
Isn't this everything?
Junior college is still college.
Isn't this the dictionary Wikipedia definition of what's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, and I'm serious about that. I don't mean to be flippant, but 2-year colleges are still 2-year whats?
It has the word college in it, right?
Boom. I mean, that we can't, community college, junior college, technical college.
Did you get on the field and play?
Yeah.
And it's college.
And you're out of high school. I mean, you get 5 to play 4.
I got a question. Can Cam Newton come back now? He played 1 year at Blinn, played 1 year at Auburn. Can Cam come back?
Right?
No.
Can you
why not at this point? Why not? I'm not playing in the NFL anymore. I got college. I want to go ahead and sue.
And how many kids now might form a class action and sue if they can't get their eligibility back? Then will sue for lost wages, or I mean, this one to me feels different.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree.
And if I'm the NCAA, but there's not even in this particular piece, and I haven't had a chance to do a whole lot more research on it today. But in this particular piece, there's nothing about the NCAA. But I would think in this case, you need to appeal, and you need to file that appeal, tomorrow morning.
I would love to have been in the courtroom to hear how the evidence was laid out for the player Moore. Because you and I are sitting here going, and Jalen, and we're going over this thing, and we add up the years, and he should be done. So how How was the evidence laid out to where the judge went, yep, yeah, give him another year?
It sounds like, this sounds harsh, and but I'm going to say it for the sake of the discussion. Look, they got a really friendly judge.
Was the judge's last name Moore?
You know,
Did you look that up, Jalen?
and the guy even says here, the attorney, Mr. Loughton, says, I commend our judge. He carefully listened to the evidence. He let everybody put on their case, and this result is a righteous result for a very deserving client. The students at Indiana, the faculty at Indiana, the fan base at Indiana should really be proud of Lewis. He is an asset to their school. Look, I'm sure he's a fine young man. I got no problem with that. And you might have a nice opportunity at the next level. I really don't know what his NFL prospects look like. But here's my question. Let's say the NCAA, and they may capitulate, but let's just say the NCAA does appeal this. Is Indiana prepared for a ruling that would negate any of their wins if he's deemed ineligible?
Well,
I just don't understand why is this being taking place in Texas if it's dealing with Indiana.
Well,
Right, because he's from Texas, and the junior college was in Texas, and I think they figured, Jalen, they could get again a more favorable ruling that they had filed this even in Indiana. I don't know.
But you bring up an interesting point.
Or maybe Chicago, where the Big Ten headquarters are, or Indianapolis. Again, it's in Indiana. Sorry, I don't know.
But see, obviously, you want to angle this to put it in a jurisdiction that's going to be friendly to you if you can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
And you bring up an interesting point. If the NCAA decide to throw their stones out on the table and appeal this, which I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
But if they did, and let's say they won, then what happens to the penalty that's going to come on Indiana? Are you going to then deem every game he played in a loss because he's now ineligible?
Don't you have to?
You would have to. And you know, if for nothing else, but to send a message.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I am pro player on this stuff 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This just feels different.
You played 5 years of football already, bro. You played 5 years of football.
All
and
of
now,
a sudden, we're going to say JUCO doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can. And I just don't think. I don't think college athletics society can allow for that.
Well, so let's and look, we've done this for fun, but let's be serious for a minute. Let's say you played a couple years of JUCO. Let's say you played 2 years of Division II, and then you go up and play a year in Division I, and you had no COVID, no red shirt. You played 5 years, and you come back and say, "No, wait a minute. I only played 1 year in Division I."
Where are we drawing lines? I mean,
where's the line get drawn? That's my point.
It feels like for this between the Diego Pavia and maybe even Rasul Faison's situation and a few others that they're trying to draw lines only with 2-year colleges. That 2-year college shouldn't count as 4-year college. That it shouldn't count as college. That it shouldn't count as post high school. That it should be its own separate thing, which would open up a whole new set of doors for, and not just for football players, man,
but for all athletes.
Every sport, every sport.
And all of a sudden, then you get 2 years of basic redshirting if you go play JUCO
while playing.
Yeah, and you're playing, and then you can show up at the Division I level and play 5 more years.
There's probably a bunch of coaches going,
I like this idea.
I don't, but
yeah, stash kids in a JUCO for a couple years.
I'm thinking about Deuce. Now, look, Deuce got drafted highly and played 10 years in the NFL, but Deuce went to JUCO. You know what I'd like to have seen, and you know who I think. What if Deuce Staley got to go to JUCO for 2 years over in Mississippi, and then comes here and plays 4 years? Because you know what, Deuce's 2 years. He was awesome.
Right? So add 2 more years to that.
Deuce was a hell of an SEC running back.
And here, again, this is the thing that, again, and the NCAA, they're waiting for Congress to give them their, give them their thumbs up. They can go back to the old days. They're waiting for Congress to bail them out. Man. But guess what? You're going to have to, if you really want to put an end to this nonsense, you got to collectively bargain and get this over with.
Well, absolutely.
Eligibility is eligibility. Once it runs out, it runs out.
Yeah, you get 5 to play 4. And once you graduate high school and you enter college, I never would have thought that we would be drawing lines between junior college eligibility simply not counting. But maybe,
again, you're trying to get an antitrust exemption to go fix your problems, and you're not going to get one. You're going to continue to have problems. This is the way it's going to go.
Real quick, the foursomes for tomorrow at the opening of the Ryder Cup have been announced. First things off, we got a bunch of live guys going here. Tyrrell Hatton and John Rahm for Europe go against JT and Bryson DeChambeau. Matt Fitzpatrick and Ludwig Oberg against Russell Henley and Scotty Scheffler. Rory and Tommy Fleetwood tomorrow morning against Harris English and Colin Morikawa. And the final grouping is Robert McIntyre and Victor Hovland against Patrick Cantley and Xander Schauffele. All of those will tee off at Bethpage before 8 a.m. So bright and early golf tomorrow as the Ryder Cup gets underway. The Gamecock Notebook is next.
Yeah, we got to be better, obviously. I mean, we got to be better. We got to move the ball better. We got to stay out of negative plays. We have to, be more successful on first and second down, so we stay out of the long yardage situations on third down, and get into a rhythm. We said it last week, and really, unfortunately, it kind of was the same deal. We can't have the penalties pre-snap. That puts you in the red, in the behind the stick, so to speak. So, I think if we do all those things and don't beat ourselves first, then we're going to see better results.
There it is. Don't beat ourselves first. We're going to see better results. Was Mike Shula yesterday during his press conference. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Jalen at Master Control. Time for our Gamecock Notebook. And there again, this isn't something that we're sitting here talking about. And when I say we, fans, media alike, you got to fix yourself. They're saying it. We must fix ourselves. What are they doing about it? You're practicing harder. You got to drill these things in. I come back to it, though, Terry, and I use it only as an illustration. Georgia went to a really hostile environment at Neyland Stadium the other day, and they won the football. I say the other day. It was a week and a half ago, I realized, but they won the football game. No false starts by the Georgia offensive line on the road. And, again, at Neyland, there's a lot of fans up there, whereas Carolina had at least 5 false starts at Missouri, and as Hale pointed out a little while ago, at least 2 of them were on 1st and 10, which immediately just sets you up, not for failure, but for that much more of a difficult task.
You're behind the sticks now. You're sitting at 1st and 15, and you're having trouble running the ball. And so that's let's say you run the ball on 1st and 15, and you pick up, what 2 yards, a yard? Right. Now you're sitting at 2nd and really long, and you're one-dimensional.
Even if you pick up 7, you're at 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I mean.
So, again, you just that's.
For an offense that is struggling in success rate, putting you at 1st and 15 really cripples you. And this is a team, look, I think time of possession is a very overrated stat, because if I've only had the ball for 22 minutes, but the reason I only had it is because I keep scoring touchdowns on explosive plays.
Yeah, like Tennessee does.
Exactly.
Or like the old Bills.
Right. So, so I push aside time of possession. But when you are last in the conference in possessing the football and you're not being explosive on offense, that means that you're just kind of stay on the sideline. Your defense is on the field a ton because you can't get anything going on offense. And it's not like you're putting a lot of points on the board. So you're almost like double-edged sword whammying yourself all of a sudden. So there's something, and I think you make an excellent point of you got to fix you. Because if you can fix you, you got a pretty good football team. But you got some things here that need to get corrected.
If the things you did wrong aren't done, or at least even if you cut them by 2/3, because you're going to make mistakes, and it happens. Nobody's going to play a perfect game.
And it's not like you're going to
probably, I think I think you can beat Missouri, and you certainly have a better opportunity against Vanderbilt.
You go back. You could make it a 2-score game, Jay.
Yeah.
You had the chance to make it a 2-score game. Yeah. You blew a block. You didn't get rid of the ball. Now you're sacked. Then you get a penalty, and now you're kicking a field goal. And instead of getting up by 2 scores on a team in their house, you kind of kept them in the game in some ways with that whole FUBAR.
Part of that that you just mentioned, too, was Lenora Sellers getting sacked. Cut number 14, please, Jalen. Here's Mike Shula, a little bit longer answer on what they're doing with Lenoris to avoid those situations.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with a guy that I think we may have talked about this before, and yeah, you just can't. The number one thing is, and he knows this is not. You just can't end up in 2nd and long if you're going to throw it on first down. I think we threw it a little bit more on first down in that game and had some really good plays, and it was back-to-back plays. We had one really explosive, and then the next play we run down inside, and yes, he does know that, and but you also as a coach. There's a couple other plays too where he scrambled it out and ended up with a 3-yard loss on a sack instead of just throwing it away. But I think you can't take the freedom away for him to have the ability to make somebody miss in a one-on-one situation, even if it's behind the line of scrimmage. And you have to be careful as a coach telling a player, hey, don't do this, and then all of a sudden you're applauding him when he does what you're not telling him to do, but he breaks the tackle and runs for 30 yards. So it's hard. It's a fine line. But we try to, obviously coach up the rest of the play where maybe we don't put him in that situation where he's got to, see if we can get the ball out on time and get guys open and stuff like that.
Again, it reminds me of last week's visit with Ryan Brewer, not this past Tuesday, but a week and a half ago when Ryan was sitting where you are. And I was like, I just want Lenoris to look like he did last year. I know I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but I'll say it again. And Ryan was like, so you want the play to break down and Lenoris to just take off running? And I was like,
can I tell you at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want the play to break down, I guess, but I want Lenoris to run for 30 yards. So if that's what it takes, and that's what to be serious, listen. I imagine they get as frustrated in listening to fans or media alike. What's up with Lenoris not running? It isn't like they are down there going, guys, did y'all even realize Lenoris? I totally forgot he could run.
Well, thanks for reminding us.
So they're not doing that either, and that doesn't absolve them of some of the things that need to be fixed, but they understand it. And again, some of this is on Lenoris, and I think we need, and I think that's what they're saying. Like, you can't take that sack. And Lenoris knows it. And that comes back to another point I've made that I think I want to drill home again, Terry. I think Lenoris is taking some of these, he's making bad plays for good reasons, and that you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it, and it's working that out of his repertoire. That's, I think, the more difficult part, because he does want to go through the progressions.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. He's been holding the ball to make a play, right? And that's what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to give up on a play. He wants to hold the ball and try to make a play. He's been a playmaker his whole life, right? He holds the ball he's holding the ball for something good to happen. He's going to make a play. Last year it was, okay, I did a read. Here comes a free rusher. I'm taking off and getting the hell out of here and he made big plays. So now he's trying to make these big plays from the pocket. But at some point, and all the quarterbacks, when they play from the pocket, will tell you, like veteran guys, eventually will say, look, bro, you just got to take that thing and you got to throw it by somebody's feet in the dirt and live for the next, because the next play is second and goal from the 2.
Right.
And that's what you got to learn. You got to learn that every play can't be a big play. Like
that was Hale's point, right? Hale was like, hey, if he just throws that ball away, we're not even talking about it.
No,
and he's probably
like they'll tell running backs, sometimes every play can't be a 75-yard touchdown run.
Right.
Sometimes you got to take what you can get up, dust yourself off, and come back for the next play. And I think that also goes to Lenoir Sellers right now. Some plays, guess what? You're going to lose. And you got to understand when it's time to live for the next play.
One more here from Mike Shula, where was I? Jalen, I apologize. Number 21. Mike Shula, a quick answer here on how the offense is looking to work against some of its protection issues.
Yeah, well, it's not when there's guys that are sometimes free, and unfortunately there's been too much of that. It's not necessarily the offensive line. Everybody kind of thinks that. It's all of us, protection-wise, so we got to make sure we're on point that way. And I think it starts with, it starts with communication, making sure we all know, identifying who we have on that. And then once you do that, obviously working together between the offensive linemen or the backs or the tight ends, and then each guy doing their job and being fundamentally sound when they do it.
Fundamentally sound, practice. I mean,
do your job.
These are things, again,
Yes.
But are they fixing them? I mean, we'll find out Saturday, and I know some of you are probably tired of hearing it, just like, go play and win the game. I'm with you. But I do think that the questions about what is it that you're doing, not doing, how do you fix these things? And by and large, is it really just communication? Is it practice reps? I don't how much is in their head once they get out there, because we've heard them say we had to get a week of practice,
and then it doesn't translate to Saturday. Here's the thing: at this point, and maybe they're saying this, maybe they're not, and they have other roads they're going. All the hype on this team coming into the season, whether it's Lenoir, Dylan Stewart, the team itself, college football playoff, this, that, this, that. It's very simple now. All that stuff goes away, right? Very simple. Ready? To your point, fix you, because you got one job now. Go beat Kentucky.
Yep.
Nothing else ever matters. Now, who's in front of you? Go beat them, because this is a game for a September game, like we said. And I know they're not saying this across the street, but we know you got Papa W this Saturday.
I'm with Hale. If it's a 1 to 10, and with 10 being must win, I think it's a 10
for a September game.
Yeah.
You think about how
if you
important
want
this
for the
is to
goals that you still have because you do have your goals in front of you. But you better you
got
can't
to
lose
start
this one.
stacking them here, man.
That's our Gamecock Notebook. All right, an earlier than normal wild card showdown, 803-404-6100. Elijah Campbell is in the house, ready to play, and he is kicking Terry in my butt so far.
It's embarrassing.
Time to turn the
Don't
tables.
ever flex like
But we need two of you. 803-404-6100.
got that on video.
The showdown is next. Integrated Media, ready to help you watch and listen to everything you watch and listen to better than ever. Have you been dreaming of a brand new home theater system and just haven't really taken that next step? 803-948-8327. Integrated Media will come to you. That's right. Walk around in your house. Listen, you can do one room. You can do the whole house, especially if you're building or remodeling. You can go outdoors. They're ready to do that for you. Maybe you love what you have, but you want to strengthen a few things up, like, say, better Wi-Fi. They install commercial-grade Wi-Fi equipment that is built for the home user, which is fantastic for streaming and gaming and all the things that you're doing these days. Again, outdoor home theater setups that have amazing picture and sound, just like indoors, built to be out there all the time. Whatever you want in home theater and home technology, they can do it for you. 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Work with my good friends at Integrated Media.
Check on the traffic. Accidents still in Lexington. We have a couple. South Lake Drive at Platte Springs Road. Also in Lexington, Augusta Road at Laurel Road. Forest Drive at Percival Road. There's an accident. Another accident, Percival Road. This one at Screaming Eagle Road. And Two Notch Road at Polo Road. Obviously, we have our typical construction, I-126 between Hugie and I-26, and I-26 Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run exits, and I-20 and 26 between exit 64 and 65. Wild Card Showdown coming up next here on the post-game show here on the game.
How apropos is this bump? Because I need to get lucky.
This is great.
I'm in last place, man. Welcome back in. Time for the Wild Card Showdown.
I'm
Again, I
stinking
won't
up
be here
everywhere
tomorrow.
this year.
Yeah, I won't be here tomorrow, so we're going to do the showdown today and see if I can maybe get some Thursday luck. Elijah Campbell is here.
Do you need luck or divine intervention?
Yeah, we think,
Yes.
yeah, that.
What else you got?
The way we're going right now.
Cheating?
Lucky Charms?
We're going there soon.
I don't like Lucky Charms. Is that a
But
hot
they're
take?
magically
Why did
delicious.
you say
Is that a hot
that?
take? The only,
okay.
you know what I liked when I was a kid with marshmallows was Boo Berry.
Boo Berry was solid.
Yeah,
Count
Berry was
Chocula was
good.
pretty good.
Boo
Not
Berry's
bad. I'm not a big
pretty
marshmallow guy. Unless
Yeah.
it's s'mores.
Those aren't real marshmallows. They're very hard. Like they the milk soaks and then they
Not
get
big.
Are they marshmallows or are they some other, like,
Well, there's
chemical
something
entity?
else.
Whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, I like it.
Did you
Is it
like
just
it?
like edible pencil erasers? I don't know. Whatever you want to call them, I love.
Ralph Williams says yes.
Yes.
And by the way, who didn't chew on a nice pencil eraser when you were like in first grade?
I did once, and I was like,
They look better than they taste.
that's true. All right, Jalen, cue the band, and let's bring in Justin and Nathan as we play the showdown a day early. Maybe this helps everybody. Maybe Elijah goes 0-5. Who knows? Justin, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, my friend.
All right, good stuff. Nathan, ready to play?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go, guys. 4 games for each of us against the spread. Wild card game for an individual and a tiebreaker stat, which we have needed a couple of times already this season. Elijah is currently 10-10 against the spread. Terry Ford is
500.
7-13 against the spread, and I am 6-14.
What were you again, Jay? I didn't hear that. You, Elijah? I didn't hear. What was that again?
Was that 6 and
6 and
14?
6-14, okay?
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing. It's the whole
What was that?
headphone
I
thing.
need to rub it in. I'm 6-14. I'm in last place.
It's
There,
okay.
There.
It's
there.
all right. It's all right.
Thank you, Jay. Feel better now. All right.
You got a little hug.
Thanks.
He needed
Appreciate
it.
that. See,
He needed it.
Jalen, you hang around. You're good. All right, Justin, we'll start with
the
you.
exact opposite you said earlier about him.
That was the Colts thing. That was a whole different animal.
3-0, baby.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. All right, Justin, here we go. Georgia hosting Alabama. The Bulldogs, 3.5-point favorites as we speak. Justin, what do you think?
I'm going with Georgia.
Georgia to cover the spread. Nathan. Nathan's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Nathan, who you got?
I got to go with the Dogs.
Georgia. Well, you don't gotta, but that's fine if you do.
That's what the G stands for on the helmet.
Gotta. I like it. Elijah Campbell.
I'll stick with the theme of G stands for gotta because Kirby needs to beat Alabama.
Georgia.
He needs to. Give me Georgia.
All right, Terry Ford.
G stands for Kirby.
No, it doesn't.
No, doesn't. I'll take Georgia. Georgia will cover at home.
Georgia. All
He
right.
spells real good.
Well, that's a clean sweep across the board for that one, so no separation yet.
I got Georgia.
All right, let's put Jalen down here. Jalen, you don't have to beat Jalen, but we'll put Jalen's.
And even
Oh, you'll
Green
beat
or
Jay
sweet.
the way it's going, Jalen.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
good.
All right, Nathan, you got, well, not you, but you'll go first. Penn State hosting Oregon. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite against the Ducks. Nathan, what do you think?
The Mighty Ducks are going to fly high. Penn State's a fraud. Give me the Ducks. Quack, quack.
Oregon. All right.
Quack,
I like
quack.
the way he said that one, too. Justin?
I'm going to take Penn State.
Penn State at home in a whiteout. Terry Ford.
Until Penn State can beat a ranked team, a top 5 team, I'll take Oregon.
Maybe even-
traveling west to east.
Maybe
by the
even
way.
a college team, huh?
Well, they did. That non-conference was tough. Come on. Beaver County Junior High.
FIU's tough from the conference champions.
I am.
It's a gauntlet.
I am taking the Oregon Ducks on the road. I think Oregon's going to win the football game.
I do too.
Elijah Campbell.
Yeah, 2 questions. Is this a top 10 team in Oregon?
Yes.
Is Dan Lanning coaching Oregon?
Yes.
All right, quack, quack.
Ducks.
James Franklin's record
All right,
against
so
top 10
Justin
teams.
is either on an island that is beautiful or, again, a rocky outcropping that nobody wants to visit. We shall see. To the NFL we go. A little extra in this one as Green Bay goes to Dallas. Packers -6.5. Elijah Campbell, I'll start with you in the Micah Bowl.
Ooh, the Micah Bowl is going to be a lot of fun. I think the Packers win, Cowboys cover.
Dallas plus the points. Terry Ford.
I'm going with the long hair guy. I think Green Bay wins, but Dallas covers the 6.
Dallas plus the point. Oh, real quick, Jalen, I didn't get your Oregon take.
I don't trust James Franklin at all, especially at home. So I got Dan Lanning and the Ducks.
Oregon.
For this, I think Green Bay is going to blow them out in Jerry's world.
Green Bay.
But that's the thought, and that's when Dallas plays the best. When
always
Their
does.
defense is not good.
You're not wrong.
At all.
I'm just telling you, these are the games where Dallas posts up.
The Packers do not look really good. in Cleveland.
Offensively look
I
terrible.
will say though, I'm gonna go. I was going there. I'm taking Green Bay to cover this one, y'all. I am. I think Micah wants to wreck everything. We'll see. Justin, what do you think? Green Bay in Dallas -6.5.
Green Bay, but Dallas is going to cover.
Dallas to cover. All right.
Excellent insight.
And
I love it.
I like that one.
George Pickens is good for a big drop or two. He's a former skier. I know this for a fact. He could back rolling all over Dak Prescott, who will throw 2 picks this game.
All right. So you want Green Bay to cover the spread, yeah?
Nice.
All right. Green Bay, says Nathan. Philadelphia, 3.5-point favorites in Tampa. 3-0 teams here, kids. 3-0 teams. Terry Ford, I'll start with you.
Tampa has barely won all 3 games. Philly goes in there and handles business. Philly wins outright.
Philly to cover the spread. All right. Again, 3.5. You're good with that. 3.5.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
And we're going to push our way to a nice victory.
All right. Justin, same game. Philadelphia in Tampa, -3.5 on the road.
Give me Tampa Bay.
Tampa to cover. All right. Nathan?
Eagles is the best team in football right now. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Man, I'm Philadelphia. I just they are. I watch Tampa and I've watched Philly. I think Philly's better. So I'll give me that. Yeah, I can see 27-23, and that's a cover.
Now, if my girlfriend was from Tampa, I'd take the Bucks.
I see what you did there.
Terry knows.
Well, I have
Terry
a wife
likes
of
to
28 years, and I took
does.
Green Bay.
One eye open.
All right, Elijah Campbell.
If you heard the early game underdog challenge this morning, you know that I think the Buccaneers win this thing straight up.
Straight
Look
up.
at you going
Eagles secondary is suspect. Emeka Egbuka already, maybe a top 15
How
wide
well has he
receiver in
played?
football.
How well has he played so far?
Rookie of the year.
All right, real quick, Jalen, give me yours real quick so I can get on.
I got Philly.
All
Tampa
right.
Bay's banged up
All right,
offensively.
All right, I don't have a wild card game for Jalen, so I have to go on those 4. But again, he's an exhibition player this week. All right,
I like it.
wild card time. Justin, you have got Ohio State 7.5-point favorites at Washington. What do you think, Justin?
Ohio State.
Ohio State out in Seattle. Nathan, you have Mississippi 1.5-point home favorites against LSU.
Ooh. I got to go with Garrett Nussmeier. Give me the Tigers.
LSU plus the points on the road. Terry Ford gets Indiana 7.5-point favorites at Iowa.
Juicy.
It is. I think Indiana wins, but I think Iowa will cover the 7.5.
Iowa plus the points.
But I think Indiana will win.
That's how I'd go, too.
I've got Notre Dame 3.5-point favorites at Arkansas. Sorry, Hog fans. Love you. Notre Dame makes a statement. I think Notre Dame actually wins by at least 10 points in this game.
I think so, too.
Elijah Campbell. Texas A&M hosting Auburn. Aggies -6.5.
Oh, man. Because this is usually where A&M does the A&M thing. But usually that's reserved for November. Give me A&M by 10.
If this game was in November,
then Auburn wins outright.
Absolutely.
And finally here, guys, tiebreaker statistic. Going back to the Green Bay-Dallas game, we know what Micah wants to do, so we're going to go pass yards for Dak. Pass yards for Dak in the Green Bay-Dallas game. I'll let Terry Ford go first.
See, that's just not right. I'm going to go.
Somebody has to go first.
I'm going to go 302.
I'm
going 302.
2. I'm going to go lower than that. I'm going to go 265. We'll let Elijah go last because he's in first. Justin, pass yards for Dak.
247.
247. Nathan.
Give me 250.
250. And that leaves Elijah Campbell.
212.
212. So Elijah Campbell goes way down low. All right, Justin, Nathan, you're all locked in. Good luck. If you can find a way to beat a couple of us, we'll hook you up with a beer card. And the way things are going, Elijah is going to wreck it for everybody.
That's right. I like to spoil the
That's
party.
what he's here for. Justin, Nathan, thank you, boys, for listening. Thanks for playing along. You all have a great weekend. I know there's one more day of the work week, but again, I won't be here tomorrow. So it's kind of like my Friday. That's the Wild Card Showdown. We'll be back. All right, welcome back in. Final few minutes of the post-game show here on a Thursday. Thanks once again to Hale McGranahan and Coach Bill McDonald for joining us earlier. Elijah in the house. I was getting ready to say Elijah will have the high school scoreboard show tonight, but that's not true.
That'd be false. False information.
This is your Friday.
Tomorrow it is. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it that way.
Since it's start bench, we get start bench drop.
Start bench drop, filet mignon, New York strip, or ribeye. Y'all blew this one up on Twitter today. Thank you.
I got some text too.
Let's see. Barry says start the ribeye, bench the filet, drop the strip, and he says with A1, but don't judge me. I love A1. He says.
Gotta have an A1.
I do like A1, but I will not be putting A1 on any of these 3 cuts of steak.
I would not either.
Me neither.
I will say this. I like A1.
A1's
but
good.
the best steaks, you don't need A1.
No, you should.
Just saying.
Precisely.
Gene says start the ribeye, bench the filet, drop the strip. Let me get to a few here. Our buddy Will King, start the ribeye, bench the filet, cut the strip. Michael Geddes, Integrated Media, filet all day as the starter. Bench the ribeye, cut the strip. And he says he's going to cook steak tonight. My buddy JW says start the ribeye, bench the filet, drop the strip. And let's see, Bruin, who called in earlier, and was not sure how this worked. So we had to explain to him what start, bench, drop was. So he got it figured out. Start the ribeye, bench the filet, drop the strip. And finally, Randy says start the ribeye. It's the king of steaks. Bench the strip, drop the filet. And
Terry's reactions to that.
But he says he's a medium well guy. And then he says another buddy of his would cook them all well done. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
I can do the medium well.
Yeah, I don't want a hockey puck or shoe leather.
I don't want to break my teeth.
I'm sorry. I will be starting the New York strip. This is really tough for me, at least for the 2, because I'm starting the New York strip. I am benching the ribeye, but really my ribeye is coming. I'm like if it's a 6-man coming off the bench, you might be coming in the first TV timeout, man. It's that close. For
It's
me.
one of those like you're coming off the bench, but you're essentially playing starter minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
First TV timeout.
You're gonna finish
First
the
TV
game.
timeout. You're in.
You're
in.
Oklahoma City James Harden.
And
right?
I'm dropping the filet. A filet it's delicious, but you know what? It's small, and
Really
if I'm
small.
paying that much, I want a lot of meat.
I'm with you, brother.
So I'm dropping
right.
the filet.
Before I get to mine, real quick, we got this on the Firehouse Sub text line. Start the Philly eye strip. It's like a turducken. And then you bench sauteed mushrooms, drop twice baked potato. I don't know where all that came from, but thank you very much on the text line.
Freestyling.
All right,
Like a turducken. I'm intrigued at least.
I'm
If I-
interested.
Never had a
I'm with you on the filet. I'm going to drop the filet too, just for the reasons you gave, because it's perfect. It's a lot of dough and it's not a whole lot of steak.
Yeah.
I'm starting the ribeye. I love a ribeye, man. A good ribeye just rocks. And
Bench the strip.
I will bench the strip. I like a strip.
Oh, yeah,
Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but I go ribeye. What do you got there, bub?
Yeah, I'm starting a ribeye because my dad made so many ribeye steaks growing up that like it's a nostalgia thing.
Sure.
Sirloin is what I will bench, but again, kind of like Jay, this is like Oklahoma City James Harden, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, son, you're coming off the bench, but you're getting 30+ minutes. Tonight, right? We're going to rely on you a lot, and then just by nature of the beast here, we got to drop the strip.
I have one here. Jay, you forgot butt steak.
No, I didn't forget it. It's just, you only get 3. Yeah.
Wasn't that in like? Was that? And you won't know this because you weren't alive. Wasn't that the choice of Fred Sanford, the butt steak from Sanford and Sons? He's always talking about the butt steak.
I don't know. I tell you what is good that's not. I mean, I can't. You only get 3. You know, like flank steak is really good.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know, I mean, you got to do it right.
I
Jalen,
brought up.
Go ahead.
I'm bitching the New York, dropping whatever you said, Terry. I forgot.
Ribeye?
Yeah.
Drop the filet.
Yeah, and
What's your starter? So your
the
ribeye.
last one left.
Okay, ribeye's the starter.
Nice.
Got you.
I brought up steakums. Jay didn't go for it. Jay's not a steakums guy.
Does Elijah know what steak'em is?
I don't.
Good.
Oh, you
don't either.
Steak?
That one's over my head.
You don't need to. You don't need to. It's not a. It's not a.
Tell you what,
It's not a good
go to your
product.
grocer's freezer and buy some over the weekend.
Good stuff today. Terry has you tomorrow at Savage Craft across the river. Y'all enjoy the weekend. See you. And one final note from our friends at Cato's Power Equipment. Ben and Matt and the crew remind you that fall in Columbia means football Saturdays, but it also means the leaves are piling up. You can tackle both of them with the power of steel. Right now at Cato's Power Equipment, the brand new BR800X backpack blower is $50 off now, just $5.99. Also $50 off the legendary Steel MS250 chainsaw, now only $379. The newly renovated showroom looks fantastic. The way they've set it up to show you everything they've got. And again, get in there. This is what they've done for me. You really get a feel for what these products are like. It's like going to a tailor for your clothing. You can just be perfectly fitted into the power equipment just right for you. Whether you do it for yourself, whether you do it for a living, see Cato's for great sales, service, and advice. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard and online at catospowerequipment.com.